game with a song with my career slam was supposed to be what songs that on 107.5.
Almost there. Thursday. If you live life like me, Thursday really is just the beginning of the weekend. Friday is just for donuts and delicious coffee and getting ready for the weekend. So you're almost there, depending on how you want to look at it. Welcome in, Bill Gunner, Patrick Perrette, Jen Jensen, coming to you from the lovely, beautiful Cumulus Studios down here on Gervais Street. Hope you're having a great week and you're off to a fantastic morning. We got plenty for you this morning to get into as we start another weekend of college football tonight. Got some NFL tonight. Game 5 of the National League Divisional Series, the Dodgers and the Giants. If you like exciting baseball or at least do or die baseball, you've got that. So it should be a fun night of sports. And we've got a interesting day here on 107.5 The Am, or at least on our program. Got a full program for you this morning. You're going to want to stay close to the radio as we got plenty of guests that we're going to bring to you this morning and bring other opinions, other thoughts. We know you're already tired of hearing us discuss things all week, so I figured why not get involved. 7:20 this morning, former Gamecock running back Brian Maddox played under Steve Spurrier. Some of you will likely remember him. Brian Maddox will join us at 7:20 this morning. At 8:20, a good buddy of mine, Brian Edwards with Vegas Insider and MajorWager.com. Patrick and I will give our weekly picks tomorrow, but we're going to bring in a little bit of help so that we can do a little bit better. We can help you out a little bit better. Brian Edwards, Vegas V Edwards is his Twitter. Edwards with Vegas Insider will join us to look at some of this weekend's games, to talk a few point spreads. And then at 8:40, I will spend about 12 minutes bragging about my winning of another NASCAR race while Kerry Tharp and Jen Jensen sit there and make snide remarks, and Jen will stare at me through the window, and I'll just be a winner, and Jen and Kerry will be second, third, or fourth place, whatever they and Reggie Anderson want to be. So there's you a little bit of a lineup this morning. Patrick Perrette, Jen Jensen, it's good to see you. I'm full of more energy, no coffee yet. I guess that's what happens when you start off the morning running late and you're pretty sure you're not going to make it on time.
You say that a lot, though, and you always make it.
I do.
You come here at the same time every day.
I freak out. I've learned again this morning that if I leave Lexington at 5:35, that there's no traffic. I can be here for the opening of the show. I can be parked. Right now I'm still hobbling. I can get into the studio and be ready to go right on time.
Well, you could just leave at 5:30.
The clock is moving extra fast this morning. I did not get up any later than I typically do. So how was your evening? No sports, like the hockey last night. I did watch.
Did you watch?
I watched some of the Capitals, Rangers.
Did you watch the pregame and all that stuff? It's the NHL on TNT.
I know a lot of people are going to be like, what in the world are y'all talking about? I actually did watch some of that last night just to kind of see Charles Barkley joining it. I'm not sure how I feel. I guess I'm nervous about it because hockey is now coming into hockey, which has really disappeared from the national landscape for about 25 years. ESPN didn't have a deal. It was hidden on NBC, SN, and I think it was even MSNBC at one point, and it was kind of hidden off of the radar. You had to search for it a little bit.
I mean, the big games, NBC would have one big game every week.
Right, but that'd be on Sunday. Yeah. Now during the week, you've been able to look and see, you've been able to look over and see games, two nights ago on ESPN.
Yep.
Last night you had a doubleheader on TNT. The NHL television contract, and there will be far more exposure. So you're right. I did flip over just to kind of see what it would look like. And
I mean, they spent a lot of money on that crew too. I mean, they combined it with the NBA and TNT crew. Wayne Gretzky was shooting on Charles Barkley, which was cool, and having Gretzky was a big pull for them. And then Paul Bissonnette was on there. He's very entertaining. I don't know if you're not
probably not familiar with
a podcast, but Spit and Chicklets is the biggest hockey podcast in the world. He's a very Twitter famous guy. He's got a good personality. So it's a good crew, and the Caps just utterly dominated. It was awesome.
So yeah,
imagine wasn't even supposed to play and ended up scoring 2 goals.
Well,
move up to fifth all time.
What exactly was it? I was there was a Post Malone commercial that came. I was watching the game, and there was a Post Malone commercial that came on, and it was 1-0. The Capitals were in the lead, and I started wondering, because I've been on a rabbit hole, I started wondering how old Post Malone was. And by the time I got done reading his,
How old is he? Like 28?
26.
26.
But I learned a lot about him. Like his father
was head of concession for the Dallas Cowboys.
By the time I got done reading his wiki bio, which took all about 5 minutes, and went from 1-0 to 3-0.
Yeah.
And
I called it a night.
And it's just a fun night. Hendricks Lapierre, the young rookie for the Capitals, scored his first goal in his first game, and I think he assisted an Ovechkin goal, and there are pictures of him as a little kid with an Ovechkin hat head in his room, which was awesome.
Okay.
I love that. I always like seeing when an older player, like it happens all the time with Tom Brady, where you hear stats of like Tom Brady just threw a touchdown to a kid that was born the year he won his first Super Bowl or something along those lines. So seeing a picture of like maybe my favorite athlete of all time, and the kid's got a fat head and now he's on the same team, like that's just very cool.
So
there was that hockey was also I don't claim to be a great hockey fan, but I do claim to watch a little bit.
I don't claim to be a great hockey fan either. I claim to be a great Capitals
Just
fan.
a great Capitals fan. Why? So yeah, but we both of us obviously got into that a little bit last night, and again, it was after a Tuesday night that was huge. Tuesday night, you actually had opening night of hockey.
You had what we thought would be an interesting college football game in Appalachian State and Lafayette, and then you had the Braves clinching the NLDS. You had the Dodgers and the Giants. You also had the White Sox and the Astros. Last night was kind of a step back, but that was all right. Tonight we get going. You get a little college football tonight. Again, not anything too big to get excited about. Navy 7:30, Georgia Southern at South Alabama is your two college football games tonight. The more entertaining game, probably, Patrick, NFL tonight, Tampa Bay at Philadelphia. So Tampa Tom taking on Jalen and the Eagles tonight there for Philadelphia. Philadelphia coming back off of the victory over the Panthers that weekend and kind of looking to build some momentum. Tampa Bay right now still defense.
Yeah, I mean, do you know what the line is in this game? I assume it's pretty heavy for Tampa Bay. But the Eagles in the first half against the Panthers looked like, okay, well, this Jalen Hurts thing is not working. The Eagles are just going to stink this year, and it's going to be what it is, and they'll be in the quarterback market next year, or the Deshaun Watson market, or whatever it might be, depending on how things play out. And then they just come back. The Panthers, I don't know if Panthers fans would say the Eagles came back or the Panthers just choked it away in the second half, but to come back and win that game kind of saved their season. The way Washington played and the way the Eagles played in the first half, it was just going to be Dallas's division. They were going to run away with it. Maybe the Eagles can get a huge win, maybe, and keep their season alive. The Bucs are rolling. Where's this game?
It is in Philadelphia.
Okay.
Is where they'll be.
That's going to help. It's going to be Philadelphia for a primetime night game is going to be it's going to be a good environment. That's going to be a tough place to play, but Brady's done it a million times, I'm assuming. So
there's your football breakdown tonight. More with Ryan Edwards, Vegas Insider, MajorWager.com as well. Coming up around 8:20 this morning. If you want to weigh in, a couple ways to do that. We are slowly improving the live stream. We should have it back up on that old Facebook app now. So if you want to go and check that out and join us that way, you can do it. You can join us on the live stream, see the pretty faces, see the beautiful studio, see everything that is going on. That this morning, if you want to hit us up, you can do it one of two ways via the phone lines. You can send, a lot of you know how to do that. 803-404-6100, the Cool Care Heating and Air text line, or you can join in with a phone call. Also, the Love Chevy phone lines, 803-404-6100. We will talk a little South Carolina Vanderbilt. Marcus Satterfield speaking yesterday, obviously. Then you had Clayton White talking. Patrick, again, it's kind of like the Shane Beamer thing with Marcus Satterfield. I don't know what people expected. He's taking accountability, and that's a good thing. I also sometimes think when a coach takes accountability, Marcus Satterfield's exact quote yesterday was to the effect of, yes, if he had to do it over, they would have just run the ball down Tennessee's throat from the 1 yard line. I like the accountability. I also feel like when fans hear that, they go into that Jim Carrey pull your hair out mode where it's like, yes, we knew that then. Why didn't you know that then? Like, accountability is a weird thing in college football because when coaches take it, I'm more upset.
Yeah, and it just goes to show that if you're not winning or you're not successful or it doesn't appear that you're doing your job very well at the time, there's nothing that you're going to be able to say in front of a microphone that's going to make people be okay with it, because it really is. If he had just come in and stood by all the play calls, people would have said, all right, well, this guy clearly just doesn't get it because there's no way you can make that play call. And when you take accountability, they say, well, I don't want my coach second guessing himself. I want a coach that knows what he's doing and is confident and all this stuff. And if you blame yourself for the issues, then they'll say, yeah, exactly. That's confirming what we already knew, that he's the problem. If you blame your players, then you're saying, well, you're throwing the kids under the bus now. How about you do a better job coaching? There truly is no good way to go about it. The only thing you can do is just do a better job. That's literally all he's going to be able to do. There was nothing that he was going to come in there and say that I can think of that would have changed the tune of Gamecock fans to say, you know what, this guy, he's figuring it out. We're going to be okay.
What do you make? So yesterday we did the poll question. I did the poll question. We did the poll question as a show. What, if anything, from the South Carolina offense this weekend versus Vanderbilt would give you a little hope moving forward? We had 337 votes. We had a lot of votes. So a lot of people weighed in. So this wasn't all just Clemson fans or trolls offering their opinions. 337 votes. I offered 4 options: power running game, downfield pass play calling. It's Vanderbilt, nothing. It's Vanderbilt, nothing wins the ball. That was close. It was really close. 30% in the it's Vanderbilt, nothing category. 28%, 29% competent play calling. And competent play calling, somebody hit us up yesterday, Steve, and said, what exactly is competent play calling? How can you define that?
You know it when you see it.
Yeah, it's kind of just things flow. Things add up and flow. It seems to make sense with where you're going, and it's not a grab bag of plays. I think I'm with you, Patrick. You know it when you see it. That was 29%. So 30% it's Vanderbilt, nothing. 29% was competent play calling, and 28% was power running game. So they were all 3 right together there. But the fact that it's Vanderbilt, nothing leads the way makes me wonder, like, are fans going to be happy with anything this weekend? I mean, outside of Gamecocks by 90?
Yeah, it's just another one of those games where this was the same thing against Troy and the same thing against East Carolina. There's no great outcome for you ultimately, because everyone is expecting a win and they're going to be disappointed if it's not a dominating win. And even if you do dominate, they're going to write it off as, well, that's what you were supposed to do because they're terrible. Now, there is a level to, if you win, nothing. If you were to go out there and beat Vanderbilt 42-0, people would say, okay, that's what we wanted. A combination of, if you run the ball for 300 yards, what's the best rushing performance from the South Carolina back this year? Do you know that off the top of your head?
I think it was last week, and Kevin. Well, it was Quandre White. I think had 100 yards in the opener. He had the 60
because of that one.
He had the 63 or 61 yarder, whichever one it was, in the opener. And I think he ended up with 100 yards, and went over that mark. Kevin Harris last week. I think as a team, though, I'd have to look at this. I think as a team, this is the surprising stat. Last week, South Carolina may have had its highest rushing total of the season last week against Tennessee. And maybe I'm being positive. Maybe I had checked out to the second half and was just fully invested in Mississippi and the Mississippi Arkansas game and the Texas Oklahoma game. Like South Carolina was having more success running the ball. Now again, maybe that's because Tennessee said, hey, if we just let them run the football, the clock's going to run.
Yeah, just the only way they're going to come back now is let them eat chunks.
Yeah, again, maybe my view of it is completely skewed. Yes, Quandre White in the opener, 12 carries, 128 yards. Again, roughly half of that coming on one carry. Last weekend, Kevin Harris had 61 yards. As a team, South Carolina ran for 153, so probably not the season high given 121.
But he's got to be, if people are going to be happy, he's got to be in triple digits. I think, honestly, one of the biggest things that's going to make people happy is let's see a lot of Marshawn Lloyd, finally. Let's have a breakout game for Marshawn Lloyd. People have been waiting for that, and now all the talk is, well, he's not even playing. He's just going to transfer, isn't he? That's what people are thinking. Let's have a game where Marshawn Lloyd can get 100 yards on the ground, or at least just give him like a dozen carries. Make him feature him at some point. That would be great. Bell has had a breakout performance yet. He's made plays and he's been featured a time or two, but a breakout game from Jaheim Bell, because those are the types of guys that really get the because he's such a freak athlete. And you just feel like the ceiling for him is so high. A breakout game from Jaheim Bell would be awesome. Get another receiver involved. I don't really care who it is, but let's get a double-digit catch game from somebody. I don't think there's been one of those, right? There's no way.
No, and you know what? I'm with you on this. What you're saying, and Richard Care Heating and Air text line, and two things, and I want to get to his second text, but I'll read both of them. He says, I wish the coaches wouldn't come on and apologize every week for bad play calls. I think he's meaning the coaches. He says they wouldn't come on. I don't think he's referred to us. But he says, the coach, I wish that they would come on and not apologize every week for bad play calls. Just stick by your play calls even when they're bad. Give me the impression. He says it's giving him the impression that they really don't have a clue. If you're wrong, go down 100% being wrong, because now you look wishy-washy, and that tells me they have no clue. We'll go to a second text, because the second text is kind of into here regarding this coming weekend's game. But I can see where he's coming from on that. Go in, defend your play calls. This is what I was going to do. That's what I was saying. It's weird. Yesterday, our conversation in the third hour centered around patience in college football. I think coaches taking accountability is a weird thing too, because as we Muschamp didn't take accountability. And now I feel like with this staff, you've got a lot of coaches that all the coaches are basically coming out saying, hey, we got to coach better. We got to do better. We got to do this better. And it feels like fans go, do it. Yeah. I don't want to hear about it.
But I guess the Will Muschamp, what people would have expected from Will Muschamp on a day like that would be, I don't care what any of you guys say, that was the right call in that situation. We had it planned. We had it schemed up. We did it in practice a bunch, and it worked every time. Didn't happen to work on that play, but that was the right call. I'm not taking it back. If he had come out, people would have been equally as upset. I mean, it's just there was nothing that he was going to say. When something goes so disastrously bad on a play like that, there's not going to be a right answer. It's just not going to happen, because I'm sure we'll get somebody texting in and saying, I'm glad that he took accountability, and we've already got, don't come in there and apologize. Just make it right.
Richard's other text he sends in, and this one I think is interesting because it takes me back to 2019. He says Carolina has to score 30 or more and shut out Vanderbilt, or score 40 or more if Vanderbilt scores, I think, for fans to kind of get back on the Gamecock train. The reason I find that interesting is because I go back in 2019, South Carolina had beaten Georgia to get to 3-3 on the season, and then lost a tough one to Florida at home, got pummeled on the road by 41-21. That was a game South Carolina led at halftime 21-17 and would end up giving up a lot of points in the second half. They played Vanderbilt the next week, and I remember being there. South Carolina won 24-7. And that Tennessee game had been a little bit of a turning point for Will Muschamp, because it was bad special teams play. Safety play was atrocious in that game. They gave up. DC quarterback situation was awful. And what you ended up getting was a Tennessee team that
good. Brian Edwards had 14 catches for 139 yards against Vanderbilt. Deshaun Fenwick had 18 carries for 102 yards. Ryan Helinski was 24 of 31 for 235 yards. But Vanderbilt scored first. South Carolina led 14-7 at halftime. It was not an attractive football game, and I'm kind of with Richard on that. Vanderbilt's not good. There's a reason South Carolina playing the way they are is an 18 or 19 point favorite. This is a get well game for the Gamecocks this weekend that can make fans, whether you're watching on television,
stadium, feel a little bit better about the offense and the team. It does need to be one of those weeks.
Yeah, and what does the line move to? Is it over 20 now?
It was 19 the last time I saw. I'll get you an update here very
ultimately
quickly.
Got to cover the spread.
Cover the spread. Get the score points, make the offense. It may not mean anything in the long run, but for 1 week, you can make everybody feel a little bit better. 18.5 to 18 is where I see the spread. 803-404-6100 is how you can join us. Josh, Troy, Travis, Steven, Kevin. It's good to see everybody back on the live stream. We're getting back into the flow. LeVar, RL, Jason, DC, Lauren. You get the point. Beverly, Craig. Everybody jumping back in on the live stream. Good to see everybody this morning. If you want to join the live stream, our green screen, literally our green screen and a full view of the studio, you can see that. You can see our lovely faces. You can go to the 107.5 The Game Facebook page and watch us there. You can go to the YouTube channel, 107.5 The Game. We ask that you subscribe and join us. You can check us out there. You can also, again, get in touch with us via the Cool Care Heating and Air text line 803-404-6100 is how you can do it. Again, a lot going on this morning. Got a lot of people for you to listen to as we move through. We're going to start having a few more people up, a few more guests. I've worked on that. Some of them you'll really like. This morning, former South Carolina running back, 4-star recruit out of T.L. Hanna, Brian Maddox, will join us at 7:20 this morning. 8:20 this morning. He's a good buddy of mine. Enjoyed talking to him. Very knowledgeable. He'll be a guy that you want to get your pen and pad out to listen to, give some ideas on games this weekend. Brian Edwards, a Vegas insider. And, of course, at 8:40, my favorite guest, because he's so knowledgeable, Kerry Tharp of Darlington Raceway, will join us. I know Jan will be thrilled for that segment. So we got a lot going on this morning. We look forward to hanging out with you for another 2 hours and 30 minutes. You're listening to the early game on 107.5 The Game.
Head coach Frank Martin, and you're listening to 107.5 The Game, WNKT, Stover, Columbia.
All right. Everybody hear us on the other one?
They can hear us.
All right, we're good. All right. Did we get that echo fixed?
Well, yeah, the echo was because we put our individual cameras on and didn't mute them. But we got to keep a heads up for whenever this camera closes, automatically closes, it's going to do a lot. We gotta open it back up.
All right. Yeah, well, I'm figuring everything out here. We're getting there, folks. We're getting there. Good to see everybody. You also saw I changed the font to the more bubble.
The bubble,
font.
yeah, I like the bubble font.
Good, LeVar. Good to see you. DC, good to see you. All right, let me find my son's shoes. Why, thank you.
You're very welcome.
All right.
So, yeah, because that was what I was supposed to do, right? Put in your email address and then it sends the code. Or if you're pondering that. So talking to
What?
was I supposed to? I was supposed to, and then you sent a code.
Yeah, did it say what's the verification code?
Yeah.
It might have expired. But
Oh, okay. I'll do it again then.
did you type that one in? Did it not work?
Oh, I didn't. Did you?
I put it in the private chat. Oh, I didn't even get. Oh, you know what? I didn't
I
even
can't get
put
in the
you in.
private
So you
chat.
can't even get in left.
Yeah.
Do you want me? I'll just tell you. It's 150560.
560.
I'll say it in the.
I got Chris Deering, and we got our weekly pick'em. Monday we'll leave open for game discussion. Tuesday, we got Perry Worth and Brad Crawford lined up. We will get as I get better at this, as I become more accustomed to handling all this. We'll start getting the guests on the live stream as well. I still got to work on the sound for y'all and I've got a strategy for that this morning, I think. Oh, there you go. I'm getting there, Troy. I'm getting there with the changing of the font. We're figuring everything out here. Glad to see everybody. Good to see
I just reset.
Okay. What we'll do when the guests come on, if you can turn your mic on. Is that right? No, her mic, because that's picking up our sound. If she's in studio, if she's in there, if she turns her mic on, they'll be able to hear it.
It's actually the Q volume is what I was drawing it through, and it was to go to the live stream. It keeps the mic off.
Because I'm saying the speaker's not playing.
It cancels everything.
It's the same thing as in here.
Okay, so
yeah,
But if you play it through the queue, it doesn't matter. Your mic can be up there.
yeah. And that Q speaker is better than using the volume of the studio,
Mhm.
like because that only goes so high.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Q speaker.
you
So
can
I
do
will
that.
do that.
Okay.
Yep.
And then when Ed comes through this morning, I'll track him down and just say, what do we have to get? And whether it's putting another computer, like just another laptop in there, just to run it back through. And then I told Brian Edwards, I didn't say anything. We'll have Brian Maddox on a couple times. He's really good, which I think he'll be. I'll start giving him the link and we'll start putting people up and doing everything.
Yeah, be awesome. All right,
You got his logo for, did you get his Brian Edwards?
This morning.
And for Brian Maddox, you should be able to pull old stock image of him running through somebody or trying to jump over to Auburn Claire.
We can do that on this computer.
Huh?
We can do it on this computer.
Can you
just save an image?
Okay. If you want to look at it, just type. It should be.
Yeah.
Look at that. Y'all get to see the behind the scenes work.
That's right. All right, just text me that code.
Stuff. Yeah, and I'm debating. I'll probably start doing more maybe like during the day stuff because apparently I have plenty of free time with the live stream just popping on or off, or I don't know. We'll figure some stuff out.
Jen should be able to have her own profile in the live stream now.
So we have, I think, successfully do things correct here.
With the world's #1 tire brand, Michelin is seeking manufacturing professionals with production skills from their Lexington, South Carolina facilities. Successful candidates will work in an empowered, quality-driven environment with opportunities for advancement,
All right. There we go. Strides being made. Feel better on a Thursday. I feel. There's Jen. Look at us. We look like the Brady Bunch. Yeah, Brady Bunch. We'll get that green screen. We'll get the audio fixed. And everybody kept asking, when are y'all gonna go back to the studio? When are y'all gonna go back to the studio?
They're thrilled now, aren't they?
Oh, Patrick can just play with the looks, and we can look like the Brady Bunch. We can just be sliding all over the place.
I'm trying to think, who would you be? Who would be Bobby?
If you handle that, like I got 0 res now, and to not like completely get confused, the commercial still should be in there. Yeah, I didn't mess with that. Also, I learned you got to go in the thing. It says we only have 50 hours of record time. So did you know that? Or you got to go back in? I guess it just deletes it. I guess it doesn't. I don't know what it deletes.
Yeah.
Because everything was still on Facebook when I looked at it. So I don't know if you're just deleting it from StreamYard.
Probably, yeah.
Hey, do we have any? Do you have any audio? Not on music Saturday.
I'm trying to pull it up right now.
Rolling along on a Thursday morning. You know what that means? Tomorrow it's going to be some fancy. I'm excited. This is the one thing about coming back to the studio tomorrow. That and on the live stream you'll see it. A lot of people haven't seen it because we haven't been back in the studio. But tomorrow will be a pumpkin spice latte probably Dunkin' Donuts type of morning. Like I'm still on the black coffee. I'm still trying to be healthy. I'm still on the black coffee. So, but tomorrow morning will probably be a Dunkin' Donuts morning. I was running late, so I gotta make sure that this morning or tomorrow morning I don't get up late. But I'm thinking, I'm leaning. I saw a commercial last night while watching the hockey. I'm thinking pumpkin spice latte. Like that's
Dunkin' pumpkin spice latte.
Oh yeah. I mean, October 15th is when you can officially get into the pumpkin spice lattes, right?
No, you could have gotten into them earlier.
I don't know. I feel like there's a drop dead.
I never
early
had one
date on that
this year. I still haven't had the Starbucks. Like I don't really like pumpkin flavored anything, but I don't mind the pumpkin flavored beans when the beans are pumpkin flavored. So you're drinking black coffee, but it's got like the slightest hint of pumpkin. That's what I've had.
I don't know. Now you're getting too technical and in depth. Do we have a
pumpkin
barista that listens to the program that can weigh in on that?
It wouldn't be a latte, obviously, but there's something close to it.
I mean, can you do? What'd you say? What was the question? If you're a barista, is it a barista, right? Is there a barista? Barista. Okay, but is that? Do they all fall under the barista?
Yeah, I think that's fully
okay.
Yeah.
So there's no identifying.
All encompassing, right?
Gotcha. Okay. All right. So
Male
there you
or
go.
female barista.
Gotcha. All right. So it's we'll probably do that tomorrow. So you'll get to see that on the live stream if you wanna weigh in again. 803-404-6. How you can do that this morning. Drew weighs in, and this goes back to what Marcus Satterfield was kind of talking about, Patrick, yesterday. Drew weighs in. Do we not think a Doty breakout game, 250 yards plus, multiple deep passes, runs the ball is the best thing that could happen for Carolina versus Vanderbilt? I would say if he is close to these stats, the runs will be there, and the O-line probably plays better if he gets that done. Marcus Luke Doty yesterday, and the improvement that he's seen gradually game by game from Luke Doty in terms of passing. Now, what I really liked from Satterfield yesterday is what we all should at some point start to say. He says you cannot keep, it's only his fifth start. It's only his sixth start. At some point, Luke Doty has to take the ball and basically run with it. He's got, it's only his fourth start. It's only his fifth start. He is still a young quarterback, and he's going to make mistakes. But this will be his fourth start of the year. Is that right? Am I right on that? I'm right on that. We're at game 7. He started 3, 4, 5, 6. So this will actually be his fifth start. No, this will be his fourth start. I'm right. I was right on that. Fourth start. Game. So 4 start. 6th overall start. So if you're going by years, this will be his kind of halfway point. A 12-game season, this will be his 6th start. I have seen improvement from him. He had the run, the scramble last week. We don't know. I've given up on trying to figure out the health of the foot. And start quickly, hit some early passes, going from a point to open up other things.
Yeah, if Doty just lights it up, like have over 100 on the ground touchdowns and whatever it may be through the year. I think Drew said 250 as the baseline for passing yards. Yeah, all of that would be nice. Just how about none of the overthrows and just missing guys on relatively routine passes? That would be a good one. And just don't turn the ball over. Let's play a turnover-free game. Don't fumble any snaps. Speaking of which, we never discussed it. Did you see what he said about fumbling the snap?
Somebody hit us up. Talking about on the balance and trying to get.
Said it comes down to me and having my mental weight on whatever foot I need to.
He's, you know what?
The mental weight was throwing a lot of people through a loop, and I still don't get it.
That right there is a sign to me of a player thinking too much. My mental, that tells me you're worried about your mechanics. You're worried about, because I understand in talking with people who've played the position, and Perry Orr's great. And we'll ask Perry about this next week. And what that tells me is there's too much thinking going on. And Craig brings up that J.C. Sherbert a good buddy of mine, and we'll end up having JC on from time to time as well, kind of went off on Marcus Satterfield yesterday on another radio show down in the Low State that he goes on. And I heard some of that, Craig. Yesterday, Marcus Satterfield said, so there was a lot in there. We'll get you the audio. We're working on it. But Marcus Satterfield said something I didn't like. He talked about how this is a pro-style offense. And if you watch South Carolina's passing concepts, you'll see them on Thursday nights. You'll see them on Sunday nights. Well, here's the problem with that. Pro-style offenses have, 40, 50, 60 hours a week? I mean, there's not a time limit. Yeah. It's not 20 hours a week. 20 hours is what you do in college. It's easier to ask pro players who that's their job, who come in and spend, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., 7 p.m., whatever's necessary at the training facility to pick up your pro-style concepts. I think that when I heard that, there was a lot yesterday from Satterfield that I liked and I didn't like. One of those was, again, going back to that pro-style offense, because you're asking collegiate players, and you're asking Luke Doty, who's made 5 starts, who's going into 6, and I agree, again, that was the part I liked about Satterfield yesterday, saying, hey, at some point, it's not about the number of starts. He's got to get the ball and run with it. But, yeah, the concepts there, that feels like a Will Muschamp thing of I'm asking you to think too much. And when he says my mental weight on one foot, that scares me, because now you've got a young player thinking, okay, in my drop back, as I'm taking my steps, do I have the right foot back? No, I don't. Oh, no. And now the snap comes, and now it's on the ground, and Tennessee's got it.
I still just don't even understand what it means. But, yeah. The other thing about the pro-style offense is that pro teams are also now integrating college concepts. So it's not even just one thing or the other anymore. And you're right about the practice. It's just there's a reason colleges do, I don't know if you'd call them like gadgety things or just weird things, but like getting to the snap immediately, getting to the huddle and having signs on the sideline, like the communication is offensive. You don't have the quarterback with a microphone in his helmet, and you have to kind of get around certain things like that. And that's why you see college offense coordinators do certain things that way. I don't know that we've seen pro-style offenses be successful. I would assume that you would call the LSU 2019 offense a pro-style offense, but you also had a very experienced quarterback there and an overall just very experienced team. You had a guy who, Joe Burrow, was notably said, I'm basically preparing like a pro. I'm not doing class right now. I'm done school. I have like one online class a day, and I just spend all day at the facility preparing like a professional. I'm not doing that right now. He's in, I guess this would be sophomore year and junior year, probably the busiest course load years for a college student. Remember,
you took college. I was going to say you took college.
I was in the journalism school. It was never very difficult. So I don't know. I would be a bad example. But it's just not the same thing.
It is, because I feel like it's flashbacks to the previous staff about things were too complicated.
Yeah.
And so you hear, again, the good and the bad yesterday.
And on top of that, you're trying to evolve and change every single week, because what you did the week before is not working.
Adam,
just another thing.
Adam weighs in. I agree. You'll like this. This is a good analogy by Adam. He says we're reaching the time, we're talking about how many starts Luke Doty has. Now we're becoming like parents who say their kids are 40 months old. Or you forget, you stop doing the years, you just keep doing, hey, they're 37 and a half months, 40 months. So yeah, I agree with you, Adam. It's a good one right there. It is concerning, Patrick. I think that you hear that because of that. This offense, was it Perry Orth yesterday? It was Perry Orth on Tuesday who said it takes to come into a new system, new terminology, everything. When you go from Mike Bobo to now Marcus Satterfield, there's a steep learning curve. I think we all backyard quarterbacks that are listening this morning are talking about it. Most of us who've never played that level, that style of football, we just go, you just go learn the playbook. And, the terminology, it's not hard. Quarterbacks say it. It's difficult to go from one system to the other, depending on how difficult they make it. And right now, to go back to what Drew was saying, I do think it is important that Luke Doty comes out and has his best game of the year. And again, a part of that is starting off really fast, and we'll see if he's able to do that on Saturday.
Yeah, and to the point of it's hard to pick up an offense the first year, it's also difficult when the offense doesn't necessarily exist. And that was kind of the whole talking point of the summer is we don't know what this offense is going to a combination of every great college football coach that he's coached under, and Satterfield's got Joe Brady and he's got Matt Rule and all these things, but there wasn't one clear offense that they had created. And all they said was, we're going to build the offense around the talent we have here and put all of our guys in the best position to be successful. And that's what we're going to do. We don't have one set thing. We're not going to pigeonhole anyone into one particular thing. And that hasn't really been the case. Your best players are not really getting the job done right now.
804-6100, how you can join us this morning. Fun fact from our buddy Rooster P. Are you guys aware of this? Jim, according to Rooster P, now this is our good buddy who sometimes will weigh in with some different stuff, but he says, did you know the dark roasted coffee bean has less caffeine? You guys aware of that? Patrick, you want to research that? I feel like that.
Because that's supposed to be stronger.
The dark roasted coffee bean? But that's why I've gone strictly to the black coffee lately. And this is a blonde coffee from what I understand. So the blonde.
So when they say stronger, that just means the taste is what I'm kind of reading right now.
And he says light is stronger. So we're bringing you information.
So why do I drink dark roast coffee?
You only do?
I always do. If I'm at a gas station, I always pick the dark roast because it says strong.
According to now RL and to Rooster P, dark bean coffee is longer. Yeah,
that's crazy.
Steve weighs in. He says stronger flavor in dark roast, less caffeine. So it is stronger flavor.
I'm gonna stop drinking dark roast coffee. The only reason I drink coffee is, I thoroughly enjoy the taste of coffee, but I'm not doing it for the taste.
We're here to help out. We're here to help out. That's what we're doing. We're filling you in on your coffee information this morning. Talk a little college football again. Coming up in about 30 minutes. Brian Maddox, former South Carolina running back under Steve Spurrier, will join us. We'll get his thoughts as a running back, what he's seen from Kevin Harris, what he's seen from the offensive line, and we will carry on this morning. Hope you're doing well out there. It's a Thursday morning here in Columbia. We're up and running. We hope you are as well. You're listening to the early game on 107.5 The Game. Pop up that zero res.
College football playoffs are here.
Oh, coffee discussion. Coffee stains are bad. Trust me, coffee stains are bad. They're me. It's going to be me. I get to talk about the coffee stains with the background music. That's the kind of music that plays at my house. That was a good lead-in. That's the music that plays at the house when there's a coffee stain on the floor, and that sound right there signals that it's time to call zero res. Get them out of the house. That's just, we have like a buzzer in the family house, in the Gunner house, and it sounds like that, and we know it's time to call zero res because Father Gunner, me, has made another mess on the carpet with the coffee, the pumpkin spice latte. You should also call zero res with their patented technology that uses high pH electrolyzed water, not harsh chemicals, and no sticky soapy residue that's left behind. It will always be a beautiful, clean look in your home. That's right. ZR Water is the name of it. The technology is incredible and scientifically proven to get your carpet, rugs, tile, and upholstery insanely clean. That's what we do at the Gunner household. Zero res keeps that house, the carpet, the tile looking fantastic, so that when guests come over, they go, "Ooh, you're a cleanly little man, aren't you?" Say, "Yes, I am. Thank you, Zero Res." Give them a call for yourself and find out. 803-262 4020. You can book online, ZeroResColumbia.com. When you call, you can get 3 rooms of carpet clean for only $119. And when you mention me, Bill Gunner at 1075 The Game, you'll get your hallway cleaned for free. That's $75 of savings when you call Zero Res today and mention my name, Bill Gunner, at 1075 The Game. So 803-262-4020 or book online, ZeroResColumbia.com. Zero Res. Spell it backwards or forwards. It's the right way to clean. All right over there?
Yep.
All right. Rolling along. I got to clean out my email. This will actually be the first sip of coffee I've had all morning. I was drinking the water, which is the first sign that I'm slowly getting back to how I've been. Oh, Steve's offering you advice. Try mixing half blonde roast. He says roast, not toast. Great flavor and good caffeine level. What do you use what's the need for the caffeine when you're doing it? Is it to drive somewhere or is it for work?
Stay awake.
Stay awake. Yeah. I'm not sure I like the taste of the blonde. Morning, Tom. We're gonna just call you Tom.
I was hoping that.
What were you trying to fix?
If I move down.
You look good with the Gamecock flag right behind you.
Well, I don't want the. If you look in the green camera,
I think
setting up my mic just blocks your face.
Oh, you're trying to open up.
Now from riding low, we can see you.
I think the echo is happening because of the studio computer.
And if we have our mics on,
right,
and then it echoes back. So that's why both of our mics are off. That one apparently is picking up fine for the sound, so we're good on that. So that's why, like I say, when Maddox or when a caller comes in, you just do whatever it is you were talking about. They'll be able to hear yours for now, and we'll get with Ed this morning and find out what we need to do to fix that permanently.
And we need to keep this camera running the whole time because it's definitely some sort of power issue with this one. That's why it keeps turning off, and I have to unplug it and plug it back in.
Yeah, I gotta clean that. So. All right, it's only taken 3 days. It's a little bit more natural. Numbers are up a little bit. Some of y'all are back. That's good to see. Into that text message. I feel a little bit better this morning. Had the MRI. You ever have to have MRI? So I get the MRI yesterday, and they put me in the little thing, and the first thing is the guy says, "You want to listen to music?" I was like, "Yeah, that's fine." So they put headphones on. Then he forgets to turn the music on.
Just have headphones on.
Just headphones on, laying there. Then they were like, "Do you want a blanket?" And I was like, "No, I'm all right." And it got cold, so I wanted a blanket. But they didn't say anything about the noise, like the sounds of the machine. So, and right when I walked in to get the MRI done, the girl was like, "Are you claustrophobic?" And I was like, "I don't think so, but I guess we'll find out." So I'm like, there, half of my chin, like everything. And so when that machine went off, I thought they were going to send me under, and I was about to like let loose a scream, like, man. And I think I never moved, but that machine started making noises. Dude, if I'd have had to go to the bathroom, that'd have ended the MRI right there.
MRIs are not very fun.
That's right, Steve. You got that. Do some of these here. Yeah, they got it right for the second because I had to do both knees yesterday. It was time. It's time to finally just like find out how my knees are, and if I need to have surgery in December, or if I can just keep putting this off. So we find that out today. We're back at the doctor 2:14 today. Do what?
Right in the bed.
Okay.
Broadcasting live from the
You must have that other thing up where you pop it up with our stuff on it.
This is 1075 The Game.
Go back up that schedule for today and scroll that. I want to see how that looks.
Chevrolet makes you smile.
Put it on the scroll. I want to see how that looks.
Yeah, well.
Thursday morning episode of the early game. Again, coming up in about 20 minutes. Former South Carolina running back Brian Maddox will join us this morning, give his take on South Carolina football. Coming up 8:20 this morning. Brian Edwards, a Vegas insider. We will break down some games of the weekend. And, of course, Darlington Raceway President Kerry Tharp at 8:40. I look forward to his take on last week's race, Jen. You're listening. Hour 2 up next.
Of the game toss. 1075 The Game.
We got slight slip ups, but I feel like hour 1 was a much smoother version this week.
82% of people remember Radio X. That means that 82% of you listening right now remember that this is an ad for ZipRecruiter. If you're hiring, 82% of you will recall that ZipRecruiter makes hiring faster and easier. And 82% of you will know that you can try ZipRecruiter for free today. But have to go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. Yes, free. 82% of you will keep in mind that ZipRecruiter's technology finds qualified people for your job and collectively invites them to.
Oh, there you go.
What?
Look at, see what I just did there? So you can still.
Also know that
So I could.
Come on.
Can I edit?
The most important thing to know is that ZipRecruiter works. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate.
Look at me getting all technical.
Remember where you can try ZipRecruiter for free? It's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Again, that exclusive link is ZipRecruiter.com.
It doesn't create a little.
That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Actually, we're all doing technical work here.
I'm trying to figure out if I can unplug any of these USBs.
Yeah, Trey.
No
There's
engineers
still a lot of work on.
That one's the keyboard. That's important.
Yeah, don't mess that up. That one is we really need to.
So can you guys not hear me?
Yeah, we're playing with it. We're one step at a time.
Yeah, the only other
I'm sensing they can't.
things plugged into the USB are the mouse and keyboard.
So can anybody in the live stream hear me?
All right, folks, we're getting there. Jen, they can hear you.
Okay.
Troy says they can hear
Okay.
you.
Because I don't know that you guys can.
I'm not sure what just happened, but RL said good copy, Jen. Trey says yes, ma'am.
Because I was saying to the live stream, I said, can anybody hear me? Because when I talk to you guys, you never respond.
Yeah,
So-
we gotta turn the volume up on the computer
Turn the volume
Thank
up.
you, gentlemen.
Why?
so that we can hear Jen when she talks.
You have to hit the button every time you talk.
So
Button here.
Yeah, like you guys can't hear me through the live stream, I don't think.
Now we can.
Yeah, but there's that echo.
That's kind of what I think, RL. I'm pretty sure that's the case. I'm used to that at my house. Just
Yeah,
like me.
actually,
We're learning. So it only echoes when we talk.
Now it shouldn't echo at all, right?
No, it won't.
Now that sounds better. That sounds like it used to.
Does it?
Yeah.
So Patrick's computer isn't picking up me.
Well,
And you can hear me.
Oh.
I'm gonna try something else.
Patrick's gonna. Everybody get ready. Patrick's gonna try something else.
I actually think this is probably gonna work. Since this computer can't handle USB right now, I'm gonna just plug it in my laptop.
Okay. Patrick's trying something.
Because whatever you did, that's the sound that we used to have. So that sounds better.
Whoa.
There's a lot happening there.
Right. Fun stuff. All right, let me keep on this.
Has he got it?
Wait. One. That's the camera?
What?
That's not the angle that it was just at, was it?
What? What are you looking at?
Oh, that's your computer.
Yeah, I turned it so everybody can see.
No,
There you go.
There you go, Patrick.
Yeah.
Oh.
Why did that happen? Oh.
Patrick, he's connected it to his. Travis, not that I'm aware of. Not that I'm aware of.
Guess we don't need to tell him there's an echo. Agreed. I like the scroll.
Thank you. Yeah, I worked on that last night or yesterday. I got again big plans. What's that song? I got some big plans. We're getting there.
Singing isn't
Midnight
in those
Madness.
plans.
Huh?
Singing isn't in those plans, is it?
Could be. Just because my voice cracked right there doesn't mean I don't have it.
Okay. Can't wait.
This Contigo cup, I hadn't used it. I hadn't had to use it to bring coffee in forever because I just had the coffee cup at the house. But the Contigo cup keeps coffee hot for a long period of time. That is. Twig, good to see you this morning. I told you I'd get it back on Facebook. Oh.
Why is the camera not working?
Patrick's trying to figure out the camera. No, I think I fixed that. I think I got it fixed. Yesterday was an experience. We're there. We're getting there. Tomorrow we'll do our pick'ems. Yeah, that's true. They're doing the thing on Main Street. I forget the exact deal. Nope, still getting it, Trey. Still getting it, apparently. I did not fix that. So that's going to be a pain in the rear. Thank you for testing it, by the way. That's right. Patrick's he's working on it. All right, we're going back. Turn this off. Turn that.
Three breaks. 3 breaks is hour else into your lives.
Hour number 2 on a Thursday morning. Hope you're up and moving around. It's
still dark outside, which is not great. I'm used to being at the lake where the sun is coming up and it's enjoyable and nice. Still dark outside, so we're officially hitting pumpkin spice latte weather, which I will have in the studio with me tomorrow. It'll be just another sign that things are completely returning to normal.
Another thing for the weekend, as we continue to move further and further into the month of October, South Carolina, Vanderbilt this coming weekend, Clemson, Syracuse tomorrow night. Anybody remember what happened the last time Clemson and Syracuse met up at Syracuse on a Friday night? You remember that?
Yeah, I think what year was that? I think I was in. Was that before a Tennessee game? Right? I think I was in Knoxville watching that game.
It was. I believe it was 17, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
17. Kelly Bryant was the starting quarterback. So
South Carolina beat Tennessee the next day.
Clemson and Syracuse, your a little bit of Friday night action. Clemson, 13 and a half point favorite in that game. Over-unders 44, 44 and a half, 45 at FanDuel. So depending on where you want to look at there. But we'll catch up with Brian Edwards, a Vegas insider, coming up at 8:20 this morning. Does a fantastic job, very knowledgeable about all kinds of games. So he said he may send me some games that he likes. If not, we'll just fire away several. If you have a game or two you want us to ask him about, we will certainly do that. Make sure you send that in here shortly. 803-404-6100. How you can join us. We have the live stream up and going. You can go to the Facebook page, 1075 The Game, the Facebook page, or you can go to the YouTube channel, which is 1075 The Game. You can search for that on YouTube. You can click on it. You can watch. You can weigh in this morning. Mark saying pumpkin spice creamer at Publix is the best. Courtney weighing in with a good morning. RL says, nice, no green tint on the live stream camera, only for it instantly to go green.
What the heck?
Patrick, who is played producer or engineer during the break, is very upset. If you want to weigh in on any of that or anything else, 803-404-6100, how you can do so this morning. Anonymous texter weighed in talking about the South Carolina offense and says he agrees. Too complicated is bad. However, I do understand they're building for the future. I know we're looking at this football season, but I believe the coaching staff is looking for the next few years, looking ahead and trying to build the foundation. It's a good point. We'll see how it all kind of works out over the next few weeks. But specifically for this game tomorrow, it's a get-well game. And that's the way South Carolina has to treat this kind of game tomorrow. They've got to go out, and it's kind of got to be pedal to the metal. Pedal to the metal for South Carolina. You got to get out early. They've got to come out of in the first quarter.
Luke Doty's got to start fast. South Carolina, we'll see exactly how they're able to move forward tomorrow. But without a doubt, it's a big game going forward. If you want to weigh in on that, 803-404-6100, how you can do so. Again, tonight, a little bit of college football. You get two games, neither of them all that great, but you do have two games. Navy at Memphis, Georgia Southern at South Alabama. You got a little bit of Major League Baseball tonight, the Game 5 of the National League Divisional Series between the Los Angeles Dodgers and the San Francisco Giants. And then your NFL game tonight, Tampa Bay, Tom Brady, and Rob Gronkowski, who's still out, right? He's out for several weeks, I believe.
I haven't heard that he's back, so I'm
okay. Yeah, he's not back tonight. I think he's out for a few more weeks after that. They travel to Philadelphia. So we get back into the flow of sports tonight after a little bit of an off night last night. Watched a little bit of NHL to take that in. It was on TNT. Kind of entertaining. The doctor that joined us yesterday, he was a Rangers fan, but your Capitals took them down with ease last night.
Yeah, it's tough take for him because he said Ovechkin's getting old, and that Ovechkin just came in there 2 goals, 2 assists. Little 4-pointer for the guy that wasn't even supposed to play because he got dinged up in the preseason, last game of the preseason. Love to see it. And Tom Wilson did not fight Ryan Reeves, which was also unfortunate.
So yeah, had all that going last night, and again, we will cover more NHL than we ever have. We'll give you all of about 30 minutes of it between now and probably February, March, probably April when the playoffs start.
30 minutes.
I don't know. We'll talk a little. Yeah,
we'll have a Hurricanes reporter or something come on.
Other things just to look for this weekend. Again, a lot of you, we'll see what the attendance is in Williams-Brice Stadium on Saturday. But again, we'll cover some of this coming up at 8:20 this morning. Coming up in about 10 minutes, Brian Maddox will join us here. Brian Maddox, the former 4-star recruit who committed to South Carolina out of T.L. Hanna High School, was originally, he was part of that big signing class that a lot of people point to for Steve Spurrier helped turn South Carolina around. I think it was the 2007 class that he was a part of. They arrived in 2007. Stephen Garcia, I believe, was a part of that class, and South Carolina was able to use that class to really build some momentum and turn things around. Brian Maddox will join us coming up here in about 10 minutes. We'll catch up with him, get his take on what he saw. As I look back, that class, according to 24/7 Sports, that 2007 class was ranked the number 7 class in the country that year, the SEC. It did take it. They landed 32 players in that class. It was highlighted by Cliff Matthews was the top end player in that class. Chris Culliver also a part of that class. Stephen Garcia, Travian Robertson, and then Brian Maddox, who again was the number 94 overall player in the country and the number 6 player in the state. So it was a strong class in the state of South Carolina back in 2007. And that was a class that really propelled South Carolina onto some bigger and better things. We'll catch up with Brian Maddox here in about 10 minutes. You can listen right here, or you can join in on the live stream. You will not be on the live stream, but you'll be able to listen right here to that. Again, 803-404-6100. How you want to join us this morning. Anonymous texter says the players caught on to Bobo's offense in 5 games. It's not the players, it's the concepts and the play calling. Mike Bobo's offense at Carolina was 110% better than whatever you call what we got now. Maybe. Was it 110% better? Was it better? I mean, it wasn't, Kevin Harris was great.
That's why it was better.
Okay, we're just going with
They
that
run
because
the football. With the same personnel.
I mean, that was the same offense that got beat 45-3 by Texas A&M.
Yeah.
There were some flaws with that offense last year. Kevin Harris was good. Certainly being able to go to the I formation and run the football was the way that they were able to use that. But I don't know if the Mike Bobo offense was significantly better. Look, nobody's trying to tell you South Carolina year has been something special, but it is something to talk about. Again, the schedule for this weekend overall, let's give you the rundown real quick on college football. Again, Clemson, Syracuse on Friday night. That'll be followed by California in both of those games on ESPN. Oregon, number 9 still in the AP Top 25. Saturday games, just a couple to keep an eye on. Number 3, Cincinnati will host Central Florida. Number 10, Michigan State is at Indiana. And the big early game, I say big game, I don't know if it's going to be big around here, but number 12, Oklahoma State is at number 25, Texas. That also a noon game. Maybe the 2 bigger games around here, Patrick. Auburn, not ranked right now, at number 17, Arkansas. And I was talking to somebody familiar with the Arkansas program yesterday, and we talk about the jump that Arkansas made from year 1 to year 2 under Sam Pittman. The jump that Arkansas has made. It's been significant, and it's been a feel-good story. But the play of quarterback KJ Jefferson. And if you talk about Luke Doty in year 1 under Marcus Satterfield going to year 2 and just looking down the line, I don't know if it'll be a KJ jump, but one of the people that I talked to who has knowledge of the Arkansas program yesterday said that big-time receiver Mike Woods, remember when he transferred out of Arkansas and everybody got kind of excited and thought, hey, Justin Stepp, maybe there's a relationship. He ended up going to Oklahoma. One of the reasons that Mike Woods left was he said, KJ Jefferson's not good enough to get me the ball. He's not going to be the quarterback that'll help make me showcase my ability. Makes you wonder if that was the right decision for him because
he's better than Spencer.
KJ Jefferson has made a huge step for Arkansas. That's part of the reason. I know they lost last week, but they put up 51 points. They didn't lose because of KJ Jefferson. They host Auburn this week, and that's a big game for both teams. We'll talk more about that as we kind of go through the rest of the day and highlight some of the games, especially again at 8:20 with Brian Edwards. But Patrick, again, let's real quick look at those 2 big SEC games that are at noon tomorrow, Auburn and Arkansas, and then number 20, Florida is at LSU. And Ed Orgeron's on the ropes. Eli Ricks, the other defensive back for LSU, without both starting defensive backs, and Ricks and Derek Stingley. The offense is not running the football. People are turning on Ed Orgeron. You feel like if Florida goes down and pummels them, it's going to be an 11 a.m. start. So the LSU fans don't have the normal time frame to get inebriated, get into the stadium, and make it a hostile environment. That's one that could go south on LSU quickly. And I don't know if Ed Orgeron makes it to Monday morning.
I'm curious what they think the attendance is going to be. Where's the
Good
Clemson
point.
game? Is the Clemson game a home game?
Clemson game's a home game. No, excuse me. Clemson is at Syracuse.
Will the LSU fans then the South Carolina plus Syracuse crowds?
Sir, I don't know. 11 a.m. start down there, and
It's not gonna be good.
you're familiar with that fan
Yeah.
base.
They're out right now.
Yeah.
No
More-
Stingley, no Keishon Boutte, no Eli Ricks. All the guys that you pay to go see, not playing.
Offense not very good for LSU right now. Florida at LSU. Florida about a 12-point favorite down there in Baton Rouge this weekend. So those are a couple big noon games. We'll get more into that schedule as we go through the morning again. Coming up here in, did I say tomorrow? A couple of y'all waited. Games are on Saturday. Did I say, look,
I
if
didn't pay attention. You did say the Clemson game's tomorrow.
the Clemson game is
Yeah.
tomorrow night. Yeah, if this was in reference, Clemson is tomorrow night. They play Friday night. I don't know if I said South Carolina. I've gotten 2 or 3 text messages that have said that it's Thursday. Yeah, the Gamecocks. If I said the Gamecocks tomorrow, I apologize. Yeah, Clemson does play on a Friday night. And again, if you missed the opening of the show, I told you how for me basically Thursday is Friday. When you do a sports talk radio show, Fridays are pretty easy, especially on football season. So I get all excited on Thursdays. I apologize. 803-404-6100. Appreciate everybody keeping me in line. We'll take more of your calls, your text messages. But we got Brian Maddox, former South Carolina running back, coming up next. We want to listen to him. What does he think regarding South Carolina's running backs and the offensive line as well as the offense in general? We'll get his take. You're listening to the early game on 107.5 The Game. Skip it.
From the Shepherd's Glass Traffic Center, Shepherd's Glass, a true reflection of quality. shepherdsglass.com. Highway 6 at Main Street at Highway 1 there. So Highway 6 at Highway 1 in Lexington, an accident there. Also 277 northbound at I-20
He's not coming up next.
and
is he?
I-26
7:30, right?
eastbound
7:20.
after exit
'Cause I knew we had
91,
3
an
breaks.
accident there. And weather-wise, we are
Yeah, I got it written
looking
down for
at some pretty nice
7:20.
I thought we
conditions,
were gonna
but
have to
warm
break
for
early
sure.
on this
being
one and then get 'em
mid-October.
on.
86 for the high
No.
today, 87 tomorrow, 84 on Saturday. It's 64 right now. 107.5 The Game. You actually weren't due till 7:20.
I just sent you Brian Maddox's phone number, and we'll do that sleep number at 7:40. I got to find the right script. I'm not 100% sure which one I'm supposed to read.
Okay. That'll work.
Jan, I said that. So apparently I did.
1075 game. What's your name? Hey, Steve. Good. How are you? We actually are about to have a guest. So, Brian Maddox. So if you want to call back in just a little bit when that's over with, then maybe we can get you in. Okay. I just don't want you to sit and hang. Okay. Thanks, Steve. Thanks. Bye.
Craig Wise, I can't remember. When y'all get a picture? Did you get a picture of Maddox? All right, now Jen's. We think we have a plan for Jen to turn her. So y'all should be able to hear Brian as he talks. I don't like that face. No, not yet.
No, and I can't leave him a message because the voice mailbox is full. So I'll try again in a couple minutes.
Okay.
That's cool.
Roll along on a Tuesday morning. We'll catch up with Brian Maddox here in just a few minutes as we effort him. I want to remind you tomorrow. Yes, and by the way, I apologize. I was meaning Tuesday, Saturday. I was looking at Clemson's football game for tomorrow night. That's at South Carolina tomorrow. For those of you who are confused and trying to now change your plans, no, South Carolina does not play tomorrow, but they do play Saturday. However, tomorrow you can go out and join Tommy Moody, the one and only Tommy Moody, and also that other guy, Jay Phillips, his sidekick, at Sam's Club on Forest Drive. The Sam's Club Ultimate Tailgate, 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. tomorrow. They are hosting a huge pep rally in the parking lot with support of our friends from Dr. Pepper, Kingsford, Goodyear, Cheez-Its, Pop-Tart Bites, M&M's, MasterCard, and more at the Sam's Club on Forest Drive. It's the Sam's Club Ultimate Tailgate. Tommy Moody will be out there. I think he'll be leading the band. It's he's the what's the leader of the band called? What do you guys call that?
The band leader or the drum major?
Is it the drum major? The
Well,
drum
for a
major
marching band.
on, and they're doing the high stepping, and they got the fancy hat.
No, I'm trying to think of the word.
Director?
No, I'm the person who's out in front of the band. Yeah,
I think it's
Okay,
at
yeah.
the end.
yeah. Marching director. Yeah, we get the point. Tommy Moody will be out there doing that. Go join them. Go join them. They'd love for you to stop by and see them. They love that kind of stuff. The Sam's Club on Forest Drive.
Drum
Again, the
major.
Sam's Club Ultimate Tailgate tomorrow from 1 to 4 at Sam's Club on Forest Drive. Tommy Moody, Jay Phillips will be out there. They're hosting a huge pep rally in the parking lot. Again, Dr. Pepper, Kingsford, Goodyear, Cheez-Its, Pop-Tart Bites, M&M's, and MasterCard. Well, no coffee on that list. No coffee. We didn't get into the Pop-Tart Bites yesterday, did we?
No, Pop-Tart Bites are good though. I like Pop-Tart Bites. I
Are
like
you?
all Pop-Tarts.
When you do the Pop-Tart Bites, you Maestro.
I don't know.
I don't know. Maestro's more of
Maestro.
a Maestro and conductor is more of the one that does like the orchestra. I thought a Maestro was more of the orchestra. Like an orchestra. That's like where you go, you get dressed up and you go see the symphony and whatnot. I feel like that's more of a Maestro.
Or like
Josh
it was the school band. My music teacher for the school band, middle school band, was considered our maestro. I played the trumpet.
Okay. The conductor is what they're asking. But But the conductor, I know but who is the person who's out? Do we know what he's wearing? The band outfit, the costume, or whatever you want to call it, and they're out in front. They've got the big baton. Is that the drum major?
Isn't it the person blowing the whistle in a marching band? Isn't there always the person blowing the whistle? Okay.
Okay.
Bill, you haven't seen a lot of movies, but have you seen Drumline?
No, I have not. I've definitely not seen Drumline.
Drumline's so good. Nick Cannon, young Nick Cannon.
Yeah. That means what? It's 20 years old. Nick Cannon's my age, right?
I
am familiar. I am
20 years old.
Sadly familiar with the movie that you're referencing, but
2002, 19 years old.
Okay. All right. 803-404. Thank you for all the people weighing in, by the way. 803-404-6100. Drum major, I think, is what we've settled on. Yes, that is what Tommy Moody will be tomorrow. He'll have I think it's usually kind of a taller hat. He'll have the baton. Tommy Moody has better knees than I do. He's older, but his knees are intact. Mine, I had an MRI done yesterday, 2 MRIs, one on both knees, and so I'm getting older. All the hard living that I did in my late teens is finally catching up to me. But Tommy Moody will be out there again. Go visit him. You can call him Drum Major Tommy. Sam's Club on Forest Drive, the Sam's Club Ultimate Tailgate tomorrow. Let's go through a little bit more of the schedule. We are efforting Brian Maddox, former Gamecock running back. We will catch up with him here, and he is expected to join us. The rest of that schedule for tomorrow, we were talking about, again, the noon games are pretty good. There's a few other games that are just kind of interest. Nebraska, who is unbelievably bad in one-score games, Patrick, right now under Scott Frost. Like, that is a program that just cannot win a close game. They lose another heartbreaker last week to Michigan. They go on the road to Minnesota, and PJ Fleck is a guy that if you'd have asked me maybe a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, if PJ Fleck was in the running for the LSU job, or if LSU came open, I thought PJ Fleck would be a guy that we would be talking about for that position. 3-2 on the year is what Minnesota sits at. That's not awful, but they have an ugly loss, 14-10 to Bowling Green. They've beaten Purdue. They smashed Colorado, but PJ Fleck was a guy, again, if you just said Southern Cal comes open or LSU comes open, those were where I thought PJ Fleck might end up. Right now, he's not really a candidate, I think, at either job if LSU were to open, and certainly Southern Cal is open.
Is Tanner Morgan still the quarterback there, right?
Yes.
So the PJ Fleck star is losing its shine a little bit. It would appear. I don't know what people expected. I don't know if they expected Minnesota to be in contention for the Big Ten title and like a new year, but that Auburn bowl game 2 years ago, I guess 3 years ago maybe. I don't know. Everyone kind of just assumed after that season that PJ Fleck would be one of the biggest jobs in America by this time, and I don't really know what happened. I know they got crushed by Maryland last year, which was awesome to see, but I don't know. What do you think about that?
And I don't know. He's got again. PJ Fleck was a name.
Is he just going to be a Minnesota forever guy? They'll never fire him.
I don't know. Nebraska this weekend. They do host Maryland next weekend at Northwestern. Again, the only reason we're mentioning Minnesota, again, we're on noon games. Yeah, we'll get to Georgia, Kentucky in a minute when we're talking about the Saturday schedule. But noon games right now, and PJ Fleck again was a name that was extremely hot a few years ago, and right now needs a big win tomorrow to kind of continue rolling along for them. So that's another little interesting game just to keep an eye on tomorrow if you're looking at the Saturday slate. Moving into the afternoon window, again, the noon games really good. The noon games, you got several that are of interest, and I know several of you fired up planning big tailgate parties for Yale at Connecticut, UConn. That game noon, also CBS for those of you that have forgotten where exactly to locate that game. 3:30 slate. Yeah, the big one tomorrow, Kentucky at Georgia. Tomorrow, I'm sorry. I am totally believing it's Friday. I clearly, if you're listening this morning, you can tell I'm already locked in on Friday. The big one on Saturday, 3:30, it's where game day will be at Kentucky, Georgia. Georgia's a 24-point favorite. And we talked about this, Patrick, a little bit yesterday. Big point spread there for the Bulldogs. South Carolina was a 31-point underdog. But it tells you what Vegas thinks of Georgia, that The Bulldogs are a 24-point favorite over a top 15 team.
The last unbeaten in the SEC, besides them, of course.
I mean, it speaks volumes.
But this is why I think that the put Kentucky in the top 5. They should be ranked ahead of Bama because they haven't lost yet, and it's obviously going to sort itself out. Just put them in the top 5. They deserve it. Let the Kentucky fans be happy about it. Say we are giving the undefeated teams top billing, and this game would feel so much cooler if we said this was a 6 matchup. People might say, okay, well, there's a chance, but Kentucky's 11. They're going to get blown out. Georgia's going to cover the spread. Will Levis is going to look terrible. Kentucky's not going to be able to run the ball. It's going to be a blowout. And then you could say, all right, well, now we move Kentucky back to their rightful spot in, like, the teens. But at least give it to them right now because they are undefeated and they have looked good. Give them the top 10 matchup. I don't think this is going to be a good game at all, though. I don't think Georgia's going to play a close game until the SEC championship.
Yeah, again, it speaks volumes about what Vegas thinks Georgia currently is. A few other games in the 3:30 window. Purdue travels to Iowa. BYU is at Baylor. Again, not one that'll draw national attention tomorrow. Miami at North Carolina. And the only reason I mention that is because, again, watching college football live yesterday, talking about coaches that are under fire, Patrick, Miami is one of those teams, as people are pointing out. Miami probably doesn't have the financial ability nor really the interest in trying to fire Manny Diaz. So he's probably perfectly safe right now, but there's no denying that this year has been a disappointment for the U. And this was a program that was a top 10 team or top 15, I think at least top 12. I think they were number 11 when they went to play Alabama. Blown out by Alabama, Michigan State at home, and then lose last Thursday night to Virginia on a last-second kick, a short kick. I think it was like a 35-yarder that hit the left upright, and they end up losing that game. Their 2 wins this year are over Appalachian State, and I've got to look this back up to confirm Central Connecticut, which
I didn't know there was a Central
exactly
Connecticut.
yes. There's your.
Connecticut's such a small state; they don't even deserve directional schools.
So Miami right now at North Carolina tomorrow, and again, this was a team that was expected.
Both teams. This was a preseason top 15 matchup, right? I can't remember what exactly North Carolina was at, but it was a preseason top 15 matchup, and people were saying, hey, these are the 2 teams. We're always wondering who's the next team that's going to give Clemson a run for their money, and we just assumed that North Carolina was going to go close to undefeated and play in the ACC championship against Clemson, and they're clearly missing both their running backs and wide receivers, and Miami's just kind of a disaster right now.
Is that
so?
803-404-6100. We will get to Brian Maddox, former Gamecock running back, when we return. He will talk to us about what he's seeing. You're listening to the early game on 107.5 The Game. Sorry, I was going to tell you keep talking for a minute.
I thought you were saying stop talking. So
I'm sorry. I was going to tell you keep keep going so that I can confirm. I thought I heard her say this.
It's clearly an upstate number.
Well, that's why I thought I heard her say like I was going to hit a break anyway after that, after you were done. And so when I heard her say something in my ears, and that's why I was going to be like, keep talking just a minute. Let me confirm that's him.
Yeah, we need to get the keep talking versus the stop talking so that we can.
All right.
That was the delay.
Yeah.
So I'll pause it. So good.
All right, we're ready to go. Okay. Any luck with a picture?
Yeah, I think so.
Derek King is out. I forgot about mentioning that.
Silverados are back in stock at Herman Chevrolet. We're ready to kick the inventory shortage to the curb with new trucks available.
Okay, we'll do this. Show will be about over, really.
Coming up.
There you go. Oh,
I'll pop it up when he's
okay. And you got your plan, I guess, do whatever you can for the live streamers to hear the audio.
One of the game. Local community leaders from SCT encourage you to join the race to maximum.
I'm buying this one, the fifth circuit solicitor. I've been vaccinated.
now we can do whatever we want because they can't see us.
I ask that you
Oh, thank goodness.
health, and wellness of your family.
I gotta locate.
Vaccinate. Visit sctf.gov/vaxlocate to find a vaccine location near you.
Hi, this is Adam Baines with Sound and Images. For almost 40 years, Sound and Images has been your corporate multimedia resource for installation for live events. Sound and Images friendly
Today's the 14th.
facilitate anything from simple home office monitor upgrading to a wireless presentation and video conferencing system, digital signage, retail, large-scale commercial, and more. Sound and Images is dedicated to adding and supporting technology into your space. Let Sound and Images add a whole new level to your AV.
Got the sleeve number. I got the right one. We got to cut 2 after the show real quick, and then I got the right one for today, so we're good to go.
Since we've all been driving so much more again, I've been using Get Upside, the free gas app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy. Wait a minute, are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with a Get Upside app? Yes, up to 25 cents a gallon. Cash back every time I buy gas. Anything? Sometimes 200 to 300 bucks. Wow, that's serious extra cash.
Oh,
Free Get Upside app now. Download the free Get Upside
I have to be far more alert now than I did previously.
Use promo code LOOSE for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's up to 50 cents a gallon on your next fill. You can cash out anytime to PayPal or an e-gift card from Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Get Upside app and use promo code LOOSE for a 25
I'm reading John Rothstein's top 20 under the radar players to watch in college basketball this year. The first guy's name is AKOK.
AK. Okay.
That's how you spell his name, but it's first name and last name. Akok.
Oh, really?
Akok. I don't know how to
Where's
say
he
his
at?
name.
I know that
He
now.
goes to UConn.
UConn.
Akok.
Probably need to be out by what, 7:48?
Yeah. 6. Yeah.
Brian can get speeches. If you got questions, get on in there.
If we'll have him every week, I mean, we'll probably not have that much time if he's gonna.
I don't think we'll do every week with you. We'll try and go through the rotate. Yeah. I'm gonna look for more like on Wednesdays because Tuesdays then we got Brian Edwards and Kerry. But I mean, you look at this. We'll do this. Come back. We'll have to take a limited time to the opening set. Work.
It is Thursday.
It is Thursday morning. I keep telling you that there are games. There are games. When I get in a good mood, and again, Thursdays are kind of my Fridays because Fridays are really, really easy for me. I get way too excited. So I apologize for continuously telling you that today is Friday. I'll get around to it. One man who never makes that mistake. He is always on top of the days. Good friend Brian Maddox, former South Carolina running back, joining us now on the Lunch Chevrolet phone line. Brian, good morning to you. How you doing this morning?
How you doing?
Weird. Well, if I was completely aware that it was Thursday, I would be okay. But I keep referring to today as Friday, so that tells you how I'm doing. Hopefully, you're much better.
I am doing much better. Yes, sir.
Well, good. I'm glad you're doing well. You are. You and I were. I brought you on Heath's show back in August, but a lot's happened since then. Certainly, you are back in town. But let's talk about what you've seen, or tell us what you've seen from South Carolina through 6 games. Let's just start with Kevin Harris. You watched him last
Okay.
year. You kind of admired. We talked back in August about how he performed and how you like that. But a guy coming off a what was labeled as a minor back procedure, what do you see from being a former running back? What do you see from him? Does he look completely healthy? Be an issue with him?
I mean, personally, I think he still looks pretty healthy. Our biggest thing is we got to get a better push up front. I mean, you can't run or throw the ball. If you're not winning the battle up front. So, I think he looks good. It's just everybody's stacking the box on him because they know what he did last year, and the great performance that he had throughout last season. So, we just gotta get a better push up front.
For a running back, Brian, we always hear, well, when you get a new offensive coordinator in place, a new system, it can be difficult and the terminology is different. For a running back, how different is it when you have to switch systems? I think most people just say, oh, it's easy. They just run where the defenders are not. But when you're a running back in a system that gets switched, terminology changes. Explain it to us from that position.
Yeah, so I mean, it's a lot that goes into it. Obviously, it's not what you just see on Saturdays or Thursday nights or whatnot. It's everybody has to do their job. So from a terminology standpoint, if you delay a step on a zone play, it's just that fast. Like, so you can't just, you got to be in tune every step of the way, every rep at practice. And yeah, maybe the change in coordinators and the coaching staff for the offensive line and running backs is a bit of adjustment, but I think we'll start to see us getting more comfortable as the season progresses. I know we're at through 6 games and whatnot, but hey, this is a new coaching staff. I believe in him fully. Coach Beamer's a great coach. He was when I played for him, so we're gonna be all right.
On that same topic of getting comfortable, a lot's been made about just the overall running back room. Like, there's 4 running backs that people like, so everyone's got a different opinion who needs to be playing more, and maybe versus having one workhorse. What are your thoughts on having that workhorse back that can get comfortable? Do you find that to be important, or do you think it's not a big deal to keep rotating guys in and out legs versus, I guess, the getting comfortable with the game flow type of debate?
Yeah, so I mean, all your good teams, you have your one workhorse, but at the end of the day, you're gonna play, that hot hand. You're gonna switch. You're gonna have a good 2 or 3 that you can rotate in and out. And if you look at some of the most successful teams, that's what they do. And it keeps the defense or the opposing defense on their toes. And I'm okay with that. Running back by committee. And it opens up more options doing it that way.
To that point, I mean, you played in a crowded backfield. There was a lot of guys there. You kind of led the way, being the in-state guy, and then a few more guys kind of followed you. But how for a running back to get into a rhythm when you're constantly in and out like that? And you mentioned you like that, but also give us a mindset. Is there many running backs that like being kind of on a platoon system like that?
Well, it depends. I mean, if you're feeling it and you're getting after it, I mean, perfect example. We played Vandy at Vandy. I think my senior year. I was slated to start. Right before the game, I think Kenny Miles started. He wasn't able to, progress or get what we needed. So I get in the game, and I think I ended up with like 128 yards and a touchdown or whatever. But I got in the rhythm. I stayed in the game because I had the hot hand. So, I think if we find that one guy that's feeling it for that game, I think we'll move forward with that guy and keep giving him the bulk of the carries per se.
He's former Gamecock running back Brian Maddox joined us this morning. Brian, the offensive line, you talked about getting the push, and from what you saw the scheme running the football last year to what you see now as a running back, from the running back perspective, what do you see being different? How would you view that if you were a player?
I mean, just like I said earlier, I just feel like I don't know if it's too much for them, you know, the different terminologies or whatnot, but I just don't see them playing fast enough as they did last year, those guys. But like I said, that's the bread and butter. That's what makes the running game great and allows you to throw the ball down the field. So we have to get better in that position. If we don't, then we can expect the same result. Just being honest, but you know, I feel like as the season progresses, and I'll keep saying that a lot, these guys will get into a better rhythm, and you know, they'll start playing faster because it is something new.
When you say get into a rhythm, is it expected to be that it takes a full year? People are saying, well, we had some text messages earlier. We said, all right, yeah, the offense is struggling in year one. There's a change. There's a new offensive coordinator. It's not just about this year. It's about the future. Are you with that? Are you in that mindset that, yeah, this offense, it's going to take 2 years or 3 years for Marcus Satterfield to allow this offense to develop, because that's the learning curve?
Yeah, I mean, I'm 100% with that. You know, I didn't go into this year thinking that we're going to make it to the college football playoffs. You know, I thought the Gamecocks would, you know, do really, really well and you know, show progress. That's what it's all about in year one. You got to show progress with the people that we have, get on the recruiting trail, fill the depth in the positions that we're a little shy in or weak in, and you know, you just got to show progression. You can't expect the world right out the gate. You know, I know all of us want that, but that's just not reality when you make a coaching change. So I got full faith in, you know, as long as we're progressing in the right direction, you know, I see it being, you know, upside.
Let me ask you this. Shane Beamer was on the staff when you were there, correct? That's right. I'm right on that. Right. Okay. When you, and I'm not trying to be negative, I'm not trying to be down, but as a player, Brian, you know what's going on. When you're getting beat 35-0 or 35-7, and your head coach is still being ultra positive as a player, good, bad, does it bother you? Do you look at the head coach and say, hey, dude, this?
Oh man, I mean, me being a player, that was always key for me. I mean, if you see your leader is still as positive as when we started the game, even we're getting our butts kicked, that makes you want to fight harder for him and not let him or your teammates down. So I view that as a positive thing. I want to see us, you know, first of all, push him around. I mean, former running back, I want to see us be able to run the ball on him, you know, and do exceptionally well at that. And, you know, once we do that, it's going to open up the passing game. But I want to see a physical game from James Tots on both sides of the football and, you know, get some takeaways on defense.
He's Brian Maddox, former running back at the University of South Carolina, now living here in Columbia. Brian, we look forward to catching up with you more as we go through the season and getting your take. Good luck getting to work. I think you had to deal with the little one this morning, so welcome to parent life, buddy. Hope everything's safe.
Appreciate it. Thank y'all.
Take care. Former Gamecock running back Brian this morning. We'll continue to hear from him occasionally. We'll talk more about that, get into a few other things. Also, Brian Edwards, not the former wide receiver, but the one who leads VegasInsider.com and MajorWager.com. We'll talk a little college football spreads with him coming up at 8:20 this morning. You're listening to the early game on 107.5 The Game. How good of a night of sleep, you ask? Well, and answer is pretty simple. I think it's Friday. It's a pretty good night of sleep. I thought I slept right through Thursday. I'm such a great night of sleep, but that sleep number setting on 45 that I keep mentioning today is Friday. I feel great. I mean, I feel like it's a Friday. I'm rested. I'm refreshed. I'm excited. I only had like 5 sips of coffee. I owe it all to a great night of sleep with a sleep number bed because it gets you healthy. It makes you, well, it doesn't help you with the day it is, but it does make you mentally sharp. It makes you ready and prepared for the day. Do yourself a favor, make the switch to Sleep Number today. Proven quality sleep isn't sleep. Right now, you can save up to $800 on the Sleep Number 360 smart bed plus special financing subject to credit approval. Minimum monthly payments required. See sleepnumber.com for details. For a limited time, 2 Sleep Number stores to choose from. One in Irmo and Harbison Boulevard across from Buffalo Wild Wings. The other in Columbia, 2 Notch Road across from Sand Hills Mall. You can visit them on the web, sleepnumber.com. Again, right now, save $800 on 360 smart bed plus special financing, but it's for a limited time. You need to get to a store today. And again, there's 2 of them to choose from. Make the switch to Sleep Number today, and sleep is truly life.
From the Shepherd's Glass Traffic Center, Shepherd's
Once we got him
Glass, a
going,
true
good.
reflection of quality.
Yeah.
ShepherdsGlass.com. Glen Road and Highway
I feel like
321,
there's a
report of
lot
tie
I'm
up
having
there.
to be alert
Also
of right now
277
that
northbound
typically I'm not.
at I-20.
Hosting?
Weather-wise, going to be sunny
that's the main
today.
part.
Might see some clouds. 86 for the high, 87 tomorrow. Right now, 64 at 107.5 the game.
About to lose the camera again.
We're about to lose the camera again.
I can see how shaky it's getting.
Oh, it's getting shaky. Which one are we? Are you back on up there? Or are we back on here?
Yeah, we're
back up there.
Every time it goes, I just need to be paying attention so I can unplug it and plug it.
So much going on this one. We're getting there. We're getting there. It's good times.
Then you see people on Twitter just need hugs.
I gotta see here. What is the
Joffrey.
I'm kind of playing with some of the stuff.
Biggest insider is Brian's site, or he just works there?
I don't know if that's necessarily his. I think it is. I wrote for him for a period of time, and he's always been great to work with. He just sent me. Let's see what he sent me. He sent me the pics. I'll tell you those names. All right, let's see here.
Where's he live? Vegas?
No, he lives kind of on the not the West Coast. Well, it is the West Coast, but on the Gulf, he's an hour behind us, so it's 7:20. But he's in Florida. He's in the Panhandle. All right, what was that thing you put up earlier with that? Go ahead and throw that back up with our Twitter or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Get that back up. I was looking for something there.
We just need to get rid of that.
Yeah, Craig. There's a whole nother level of being alert right now that I'm not do. I mean, y'all see me in the live stream. I get up, I walk around, I go wandering off. How I'm trying to do 12 different things. Being harassed about a pair of tennis shoes of my son's that he can't find.
This update is sponsored by AAA Heating and Air, home of the $1,500 buyback. If your house is in need of a new heating and air unit, call AAA Heating and Air today. 0%
Yeah, I don't know what he's done with his shoes, Travis. But apparently they're in a book bag, and so I'll have to search now at the house. All right, let's see here.
No time.
Hour number 3 coming up in just a second. Brian Edwards of Vegas Insider at 8:20. Kerry Thorpe from Darlington for our weekly NASCAR pay 8:40. We'll get you through one more hour on a Thursday, an actual Thursday. You're listening to 107.5 The Game, the early game on a Thursday. All right, he says he's ready to talk. Ready to talk all the big national games you want to hit. His picks, his official picks. Navy tonight. Syracuse. Cal. Texas A&M, Missouri over, and Minnesota +4. You want me to send you that, or you good?
No.
And then he said, I mean, he can't. Senior handicapper. All right, it's my turn to walk around for a minute. Oh. You all right? So I got Justin Stepp sent me Landon Sampson's phone number, so I'm gonna do a big interview with him next week. I'm gonna play part of it here.
Guaranteed value customers. We get every cent of your home insured value and we will help cover overall costs. We're guaranteed for profit in case of a crime. Don't short yourself and gain proper coverage. Let Galvin Insurance help protect your classic home. Join Haggard Drivers Club, the largest community of automotive enthusiasts in the world. Visit GilesBrothers.com. That's GILES Brothers.com. Chevrolet's are back in stock at Green Chevrolet. We're ready to keep you in the
Yeah, and we'll get through this segment, kind of recap everything. Do Brian Edwards, do Kerry Clark, call it in. Tomorrow we'll do picks. Yeah, I want to get Josh over to see if we can get over to Brian Glenn and figure out maybe something. Just give a pizza away, do a call, I don't know, something.
Make us a pizza.
Yes.
Right now, I've got that and then third one.
The Chiefs.
Let's try
We're gonna give up 1,000,000 points this week. It's gonna be ugly.
So yeah, I mean, whatever you got, I will go to Brian. Oh, I need to send you his phone number.
Okay. Yep.
Don't go to him. Don't go to Kerry.
Yeah, because I was pulling that and then.
Yeah, the Chiefs and the Packers next week. We are.
Yeah. I'm a little busy, you know.
Our season's gonna go down the toilet this week.
No, I agree 100%. Yeah, I started to get a have a cut list. Exactly, that's gonna help tremendously. 'Cause
Just what's that other third clip about? Any idea? Okay, yeah, I'm definitely. Let's play that one to begin. So I'll play that one, and then we'll play comfort and personnel groups. So we'll play those two this segment, and we'll build on, and then that'll be it. So you're good on anything else? So you don't have the. That's right. Don't worry about it. We'll just play the two you got. That's all I need. I just need it for one segment. Heath, I saw that. No, I'll call for him. I'll bring us in, talk for a minute, mention him. I'll call for it.
On 107.5, The Game.
Final hour of the Thursday program. Bill Gunner, Patrick Brett, Jen Jensen getting you through here on a Thursday. If you think I've been screwing up on the radio saying it's Friday, wait until I leave here and I don't have everyone to correct me on the text line or in person, and I start doing things that make me think it's Friday. Like if you think it's been and I feel like we've done well so far. I've held it together. I've struggled with thinking it's Friday in the first 2 hours. Wait till I leave here and then get confused and think
I think
it's
it could
Friday.
be very fun to follow you for the next few hours.
It's going to be a fun week start. I didn't go to the fair last night. I didn't make it to the fair. I wasn't going last night. I'm going Tuesday. The kids and I are going next Tuesday.
When does the fair end? How long is the fair last?
It is 11 days of nothing but fried food and fun. So it ends the following Sunday. It's good times.
It really is a lot of time to be able to go.
Yeah,
Well, a lot of people try to get there, and a lot of people love to go at lunchtime, because maybe they're not going to go, but they still want the fair food. So Saturday should be fun. I think it's probably a best case scenario that we play Vandy this weekend because, like we've talked about, the crowds may not be so huge. So I think that's going to help with parking. It'd be different if this was like the Clemson game.
True, yeah. Well, we've seen Texas A&M in the past has been a fair week, and there was a 2004 game against Mississippi when South Carolina was 4-1, and I mean there's been games. I think the nightmare scenario, not to bring this back up, but back in 07-ish, I believe, is either 07 or it was 07. It was 07. South Carolina was 6-1 and ranked number 6 in the country, and we had just beaten North Carolina up in Chapel Hill and came home. And it was a fair week, and we were playing Vanderbilt, and Vanderbilt won 17-6. Nobody wanted to go to the fair then, or maybe everybody wanted to go.
Who was on that Vanderbilt team?
DJ Moore was. I know that.
DJ Moore.
Not the one you're thinking of. DJ Moore was from Broome. I believe DJ Moore was on that team. DJ Moore was from Broome. He was a basketball player, really good basketball player. Went up there and played wide receiver. They also had Justin Wheeler, who was a wide receiver. Wheeler caught a touchdown in that game.
That was still after Jay Cutler, though, right?
Post Jay Cutler. Yeah. So yeah, the fair is in town though. So what kind of food do you enjoy at the fair? You're a turkey leg kind of guy.
I just when I think of fair food, I've never eaten food at the fair here because it's too expensive. I've only gone when I was in college.
Are you a ride guy? Then? So what do you?
I'm just like I think the fair is cool. I don't think it's cool enough for me to plan my night around it. In college, I never went. I was at a bar or something or studying. Since college, I just haven't gone. I've literally only been to the fair, I think, one time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I don't hate the fair. I'm not anti-fair. I never do it. And I like the food. I like
food's delicious.
I like funnel cakes.
Look, like I was saying, why am I excited? It's because there's a lot going on. The fair is in town. There will be a South Carolina football game on Saturday, 4 o'clock. And also, I meant to up on the live stream a little bit earlier, and I apologize for not mentioning, but tomorrow night, tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow night, 5:30 is when the event opens. You can go check out both the men and the women starting at the intersection of Main Street and Washington Street. Washington Street. I'm having a hard time saying that. It is Madness on Main. South Carolina men's and women's basketball team. Nice little flyers. Maine Coopsnard looking very, very tough. Aaliyah Boston looking very tough on the little flyer. It is tomorrow night. So if you want to get out, it's homecoming weekend. I don't know if homecoming means anything to anybody anymore, but it is tomorrow night. Friday, October 15th. The event opens at 5:30. The event starts at 6:30. Team introductory remarks from both head coaches. Competitions with the men's and women's basketball teams. Chances to win prizes. The Carolina girls will be there. The cheerleaders and Cocky. Again, it's at the intersection of Main Street and Washington Street. Madness on Main.
Where it's always been?
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure where exactly. I'm not familiar. Like if you tell, I know where Washington Street is because I grew up going to Washington Street Church. And Main Street is literally right behind, like
It's like
right to my
almost-
left.
It's like right in front of the hub.
So it's down here.
I just
I
thought they were
think-
going to do it in front of the arena.
You're making me do GPS.
No, it's right in front of the hub. I know where it is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah. So anyway, but
Yeah, you can go.
it's a free event. Go to it. Look, we'll talk basketball in the next coming weeks. It's coming quicker
Than people
than people realize, and it will be here.
South
Matter of fact, I did this last week.
This
This past Tuesday was the opening of the NHL season.
Next
Tuesday is the opening of NBA season. I think we are now we are right at less than 4 weeks for the opening of college basketball season. South Carolina will get going November 9th against USC Upstate. And they're brand new. South brand new. I don't know what to expect. And I feel like Frank Martin's teams are best when you don't know what to expect. Like I'm not being funny. Well, yeah, like when you look at what they did when they get low in the SEC, they perform.
They've overachieved 3 of the last 4 years, and the one they underachieved was the year that people are trying to do the most.
I mean, they finished in the top 4. They look, say what you want. It was a run that's not happened at South Carolina under any other coach finishing in the top 4 and having the number 1 wins. They do need to get the NCAA tournament. Frank Martin will be the first to tell you that. The staff would be. Again, tomorrow night, the event opens at 5:30. Show starts at 6:30. Team introductions and remarks from both coaches. Competitions with men's and the women's team. Chances to win prizes. Carolina girls, cheerleaders. Hockey will be a great event. The intersection of Main Street and Washington does. I didn't go to the event the other day. I should have. They had food, and I should have. Frank's excited. I had the chance to hang out with him a couple of weeks ago. I'll say this with Frank Martin. I know him. Last year was tough for him.
Not making
An excuse for him. It was tough for him. It was tough for the team. I think they're going to. Matter of fact, the game is December 12th. I think it's December 12th. I saw it last night. I'm doing this off the top of my head without going back looking. December 12th. The game against Florida State and Rock Hill will now be a new game on ESPN too, so you can put that one down. 803-404-60-100. We've got plenty of time over the next 2 weeks to get into college basketball, and we will indeed be doing that. But Marcus Satterfield speaking with the media. Let's hear a little of what he had to
in
say
terms of personnel groups and how comfortable he is with everybody he's got out there right now.
I know exactly what now. I know what their strengths are. It's just now making sure that we put guys in positions to be able to get the ball in their hands. I mean, it'd be easy if we could just snap it and hand it. We're having to create different ways to get the ball on the perimeter, and sometimes there's some gymnastics to that. So now the hard part is just being multiple enough where people don't know what you're doing to get the ball in space on the perimeter.
Again, Marcus Satterfield yesterday, and look, it's to me, Patrick, it's all white noise until I see it on the field, right? Like it sounds good. What he's saying, they're taking accountability. They're being honest.
They're saying we need to coach better. We got to do this.
We want to see it.
We want to see it. And this
you
is a good
mentioned
part. You mentioned
yesterday,
statistically,
defensively, on the defensive statistics, Vanderbilt's the
bottom of the conference.
Except for rushing.
Except for rushing.
Missouri is the
Okay.
Missouri
Doing a phenomenal job. Really bad.
It's almost impossible to be worse at defending the run of Missouri.
So,
we'll kind of
wait and see
how
it plays out for South Carolina this weekend. But certainly, it's an opportunity for Marcus Satterfield to showcase. 803-404-6100.
Some of you are sitting there.
Yeah, I was going to say, whoever sent a picture of the steak, cheese grits, fries, sour cream, melted cheese, topped with an egg, all in one little cup. Tell us what your name is and how much did that cost you? Because I would be interested in buying that, but I bet you it was like $14, and it's a tiny little cup.
It is a tiny cup,
but it looks delicious. It looks delicious. Yeah, we got. I'm gonna get some of these. There's that. It's steak bites, cheese grits, fries, sour cream, melted cheese topped with a fried egg. It looks delicious. Thank you, Anonymous, for sending that in. Our good buddy Courtney Levitt, the absolute best food at the fair. It's not even true fair food.
The best heroes in the entire state are at the fair. They're worse than the price of entry right there. John Clemson fan says the deep fried candy is ridiculous. You got to give us a little more information on that. Deep fried candy.
and the donut burger was a little disappointing. I'm with you on that. I don't know how I feel about the donut.
I would like a donut burger, but it's just there's other things that there's other things.
I don't typically want the bun for the burger to begin with, so I don't think I want the donut to be the bun for the burger.
I've talked about the Friday morning tradition of the Dunkin' Donuts coffee that I drink here. There will probably be a donut in here or two more. The engineer will love me because there will be a box of donuts. There's a sign that I ignore all the time that says food, drink, and beverages, open containers, and stuff like that in here. And I pretty much just, I'm here. Chad, come get me. You happy, bro.
Right.
Like, come track me down. Here it sits.
I was a wild woman. I brought an apple in here this morning, so.
Look out for you. Patrick, we got an answer. Steak and egg sundae, and it was $15. That's a big price range.
I mean, it's expensive.
For just a little cup.
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
That's out of the.
But that's just what you're getting at the fair. That's just what it's going to be. You get a $10+ corn.
803-404-6100. If you got some questions on some point spreads this weekend, send them in now. You can text them in. You can join us on the live stream. We're up and running this morning.
You can join us that way.
Brian Edwards of Vegas Insider, a majorwager.com. You become a regular on Thursdays at 8:20. He joins us next to talk about games that he likes, as well as answer our questions for games that are going to the early game. The early game, 1075 game.
More of the early game coming up on 1075. The game.
That time of year.
Not the fair. Although it did sound delicious. The pictures were phenomenal. I couldn't help myself. It's that time of year to be thinking about your heating and air unit. And is the heating portion going to be working properly in about 2 months? Because if it's not, people are not going to be happy with you. Dog, cat, kids, significant other. It's your responsibility to make sure the heating and air unit are working. And if you haven't called AAA Heating and Air just yet to get them out there, to have them look at your heating and air unit, what are you doing? Let's get it done. Get them out there right now. 803-677-1500 is the way to do that. You can get
Also tie up Glen Road and Highway 321. I-20 eastbound at Highway.
U.S. got a big win yesterday.
Did they now?
Yep. Yeah, Panama scored in the first minute.
They're echoed now because
Costa Rica.
Huh? Sorry. Is there echo now because what we're dealing with is multiple cameras in here, and the problem you got that y'all are saying like we're not sure. We have to get the main camera fixed, or we just got to do away with the St. Patrick's camera.
It's better this way though, without the echo.
Without the echo? See, Hope is saying now it's silent.
Okay.
No, sounds good. So yeah, see, there's different ways. there's we got different little small issues here.
Just keep your mic when this camera is up. Make sure your mic is off, and it shouldn't be echoing in here.
Yeah, that's what.
Although we might.
All right, I just texted you Brian Edwards' phone number. So much to do. I'm barely being able to have time to drink coffee. Stressful. But yeah, the echo comes from we got Patrick's. Can't see Patrick. We got Patrick's computer. Then we got up there in the corner, we got a little camera. We got a lot going on here. It was a lot easier when we were all in separate houses, separate rooms, separate counties.
Broadcasting live from the Heritage Chevrolet Studios. This is 1075 The Game. Stop by, shop online today, and see why Heritage Chevrolet makes you smile.
Jen said she had his logo, I don't know if you want to look at his Twitter handle real quick and grab his logo. But Jen said his logo. I think she was using it for the podcast. Or just put it there. Brian Edwards from Vegas Insider coming up here in about 30 seconds. First, let me remind you, your hot take is always welcome here at 107.5 The Game. 107.5 The Game in Twin Peaks gives you a chance to speak your mind whenever you feel like it. Our hot take hotline is there for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Now, it's a different phone number, so listen intently. 803-978-6654. That's if you need to vent. You can call it anytime, day or night. You can hear right now. You can hear something that Brian says, that I say, that Patrick says. You can hear my NASCAR pick in the next segment. Maybe you don't have time to get to the phone to text us and tell me I'm a moron. It's okay. Call the Hot Take Hotline, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 808-6654. Again, 107.5 The Game in Twin Peaks, giving you a chance to speak your mind whenever you feel like it. Sponsored by Twin Peaks. For the men who never settle, go see them down in the Vista, 600 Gervais Street. All right, if you got a game that you want to weigh in, we'll try and get to that, 803-404-6100. You can text it in here to get a expert, which is exactly what he is. He'll be joining us on Thursdays right now at this time, 8:20 every Thursday for the remainder of the season. Good friend of mine. I've worked with him. I've wrote articles for him in the past. I believe in his stuff. I make sure he is a constant source of information on Saturday mornings, especially. Brian Edwards, senior handicapper at VegasInsider.com. He's also with MajorWager.com. It's early for him. He's on the Florida Panhandle. But Brian, thank you for joining to break down what should be an entertaining weekend of college football.
Morning.
Yeah, morning. just good to hear from you, buddy. You're perky. You're excited. It sounds like you've been awake for hours breaking down what should be a really good weekend of college football. Let's get right to it. What do you like this weekend? What plays and the reasons, few of the reasons behind it that stand out to you this weekend? Minnesota, the pick. PJ Fleck. We talked about that game a little bit ago. Patrick, PJ Fleck, certainly a guy. Brian, real quick to go away from the. PJ Fleck was a guy a few years ago that if Southern Cal and LSU had both opened up in the same year, I would have picked him to end up at one of those. Right now, I don't know if you have odds on this or a line on this. Do you have odds out there for who you think the next Southern Cal coach is likely to be? He's Brian Edwards. You can check him out, VegasInsider.com, where he is the senior handicapper. You can also visit him on MajorWager.com. Visit him on Twitter at VegasBEdwards is the way to do that. Let's look toward Friday night. You've sent me some of your favorite plays of the weekend, and you like two of them. Friday night, the Clemson traveling to Syracuse game and California at Oregon. Give me your thoughts and your picks on both of those games.
Position and in the secondary, their leading rusher C.J. Burdell went down with a season-ending injury against Stanford 2 weeks ago. He had run for 397 yards, 5 touchdowns, 5.2 yards per carry average, and had 9 catches for 83 yards and 2 touchdowns. Cal has not lost, they've only lost by more than 7 points once this year. I do not think they lose by more than 14 Friday night at Outland Stadium in Eugene. I like the Gold Bears plus 14.
And then you've got you've put this on here, and I think it's an interesting one. Syracuse plus 14. They're hosting Clemson.
Minus
14. Syracuse is plus 14. Syracuse is plus.
I just looked it up. Do you know what the spread was last year when they played Syracuse? Clemson played Syracuse.
27.
I'm seeing 46.
46. Seems fair. Brian, Syracuse at home, 2 touchdowns. What are you thinking?
I see it was 47.5, but at least according to Bill Steele's book. So, yes, a big difference for sure. I like Syracuse here. Now, some books are down to 13.5. I would want anyone that's tailing me to buy the half point and the key number of 14. Maybe this is the get-right spot for Clemson after, having an open date. But until I see it, they're 0-5 against the spread. And they just are struggling offensively so bad. They haven't scored more than 21 points in 4 games against FBS foes. And now they're laying 14 against a team that plays good defense. Clemson ranks 117 out of 130 FBS teams in total offense, number 114 in passing yards, number 112 in scoring with a 21-point. They're ranked number 21 in the country in total defense. Dino Babers, it looked like his tenure was going south real fast, and I was thinking he was going to get fired. I guess he still could potentially get fired, but they've been a much better football team this year, and haven't been getting blown out. They could easily be 5-1 straight up, but have lost their last two games by 3 on a walk-off field goal at FSU and a walk-off touchdown in overtime to Wake. Let's go with the Chiefs.
So, well, for a team like Clemson, though, that you said it could be a get-right game. Are you scared of this every single week when you bet Clemson? Like, are you worried about them flipping the switch, or at this point in the season, do you just say, we've seen enough of them. This is not last year's Clemson team. This is not any of the last 5 to 10 years Clemson's team. When the team just is completely unrecognizable from what we've seen the last couple of years, how do you even think about that and handicap that?
Yeah, so I had Clemson in the Georgia game, and I lost. And then I leaned NC State when they were laying 10.5. The game they eventually lost that game, but I was scared it was a get-right game. Now, when they hosted Boston College, I was not scared. I liked Boston College a lot in that game and had them pretty big for a win. So I'm only 1-1 in games involving Clemson this year. It could be a good get-right game, but until I see it, I'm not opposed to going against them, and I'll do so tomorrow night.
One other game to get to here that is one of Brian's favorites, and then we will kind of venture around the SEC. But tonight, Navy plus 10.5 at Memphis. So if you're looking into the night's action, Navy on the road. Brian, give us your take on Navy versus Memphis tonight.
Yeah, Navy came into the AAC in 2015, and since then they've split 6 games straight up head-to-head with Memphis, but they're 4-1-1 against the spread in those 6 games, and it's tough to prepare for a Kenui Matalolo offense in 1 week, and it's especially tough on a short week, and that is Memphis' task this week. And Memphis has lost 3 in a row, whereas Navy has covered 3 in a row, all as double-digit underdog, including an upset win at UCF 2 weeks ago. And last Saturday, they were in a tie game midway through the fourth quarter with undefeated SMU. So Navy playing really well here these last 3 weeks, and I'll take them plus 10.5. There might be a couple of 11s out there still. I'll go with the midshipman.
Okay, he's Brian Edwards. You can follow him on Twitter, Vegas D Edwards, senior handicapper at Vegas Insider. Works at majorwager.com, as well as a lot of places to get his content and his information. We'll hold him to these kind of, but he does a fantastic job. Again, he is part of my Saturday morning reading, Friday night reading as I prepare for college football. Let's jump around the SEC here for a few minutes. Obviously the big one, and Patrick and I talked about this, Brian. 24 points for Georgia at home, number 11 Kentucky. Look, we watched, a lot of us saw Kentucky up close and personal here at Williams-Brice Stadium several weeks ago. They were not that impressive, but 24 is a lot. Is this more of a testament of who Georgia is, what Kentucky is, or is this just
pushing everybody? And how many is too many? Like, this is 3 weeks in a row we've looked at the number against really good teams. Arkansas was 21 or something like
Arkansas
that.
Was 18. Arkansas was 18.
Auburn was 18 too, right? So, and both these numbers we're looking at like, these are good teams. Georgia can't beat them by that much. But at this point, it's just auto bet Georgia. Is this too many? Are we finally there?
The thing is, I kind of want to take Kentucky. I definitely lean their way, and this line has kind of bounced all over the place from 21.5 to 24.5 all week. But right now, it's mostly in the 22, 23 range. But man, the Bulldogs have looked dynamite, and even though the numbers have been big, they're 5-1 against the spread. They've outscored their opponents 239 to 33. And there's a couple things that concern me with Kentucky this week. Their 2 starting defensive tackles are out, Marquand McCall and Octavius Oxendine. And then their best receiver from last year, who's now their second best receiver now that they have Nebraska transfer, Wandale Robinson. But Josh Ali is a very good player. He's very doubtful. So that's 3 key players that are going to be out for Kentucky. I still lean Kentucky. I have not pulled the trigger on it. They have covered the spread at a 5-1 clip this year. Will Levis played very well last week, but he was kind of in a 3-game slump. If he can play like he played against ULM, Mizzou, and LSU, then I think Kentucky definitely scores some points and hangs around and covers this spread. But Georgia's defense is playing lights out. Kentucky's got to take care of the football, which they've done a better job of the last 2 weeks. They were going into the Florida game, they were -9 in turnover margin. Chris Rodriguez had been fumbling the ball, but they cleaned it up a little bit the last 2 weeks. They need a clean effort on Saturday. If I can get 24, I'll probably have a little bit on Kentucky, but I'm not looking to, fade Georgia with any massive amount, that's for sure.
Two other SEC games I find very intriguing. Mississippi going to Tennessee Saturday night. South Carolina fans a little bit too familiar with Tennessee after last weekend. And then Arkansas hosting Auburn. Brian, your thoughts quickly on both of those games and just kind of how you see those playing out.
Yeah, the highest total we've seen in college football this year for Tennessee Ole Miss at 82, even 82.5 at some spots. I think this is going to be a back-and-forth game with a lot of scoring, and I think the way to approach it as a gambler is, assuming you have these options, is to probably just lay off pregame and look for some in-game opportunities. I can see one team getting ahead by 10 or 14, but then the other team, going on a 14-0 run. If I can get either team in game, at around a +8 or a +9, if one team gets down 10-0 or 14-0, if I can get either team at underdog prices north of 7, I might be looking to go that route. Now, as for Arkansas and Auburn, this is the first time Arkansas has been favored in the SEC game since they came to South Carolina in 2017 as a 3-point favorite and lost 48-22. But now the line has drifted up to 4 or 4.5. I think if you wanted Arkansas, you should have got it at 3 when you had a chance too early in the week. Right now, unless it gets up higher, would think of it. And I see one book is at 5.5. If it were to get at 6, I might think about Auburn. But right now, that was a pass for me.
2 games before we leave. We're going to do the South Carolina game as well, but 2 outside of the SEC that I find very interesting. Both teams played each other last week, one coming off a major letdown, one coming off an incredible high, and now with a quarterback controversy, I guess, and not even allowing media. Oklahoma State, Texas, noon game in Austin, 4.5, depending on what you're looking at. Oklahoma State's undefeated again. Texas, for 3 quarters, looked really well. The first quarter looked really good last week, Brian. Give me that one, and then flip back the other way. TCU at Oklahoma, obviously the huge comeback. We don't know what's going on. 13.5 appears to be the number in that one. Is it a letdown spot for Oklahoma? Maybe not for the upset, but for the fighting Gary Patterson's.
Yeah, I slightly lean to TCU here, but I don't know that I'll pull the trigger because the Caleb Williams guy, the kid, the 5-star freshman, looked really good last week. And I think a lot of Oklahoma's issues this year and why they haven't been covering numbers has kind of been Spencer Rattler. And maybe they've taken care of that now. We shall see. If I had to pick it, I'd probably go TCU. I'm probably going to leave it alone. Texas, what a heartbreaker last week. It does leave them in bounce-back mode, but Oklahoma State is a pretty solid squad. Slight lean to Texas, but again, I don't know that I'm going to end up playing that one, but if I had to pick it, I'd go with the Longhorns.
I've always read since college the best games to pick are the under-the-radar games. I don't know if you've got one this week. By under-the-radar, I see Liberty is at Louisiana Monroe. Louisiana Monroe has been known as stinky football team. Liberty is a 32-point favorite in that one. I sometimes Air Force, Boise State is games that people take. Boise State off the big win at BYU last week. They're -4, 3.5. Do you have what we would label an under-the-radar game? Ball State, Eastern Michigan would fall in this category, MAC games. Do you have one that typically the public doesn't lay the money on, but the sharps like? Is there a particular game there that you've kind of eyed up maybe to keep an eye on?
Yeah, let's go with Western Kentucky at Old Dominion, over 66. The over is 5-0 for the Hilltoppers this year. They're off a 52-46 game. Which is obviously 98 points. The week before that, at Michigan State, they had 79 combined points. Earlier in the year against Army, which is a running team that plays good defense. defense that likes to eat clock. They still had 73 points against Army. Let's go over 66, Western Kentucky at ODU.
And final one for the day. South Carolina, an 18-point favorite. A lot of people here don't even know they can score 18 points. But your thoughts, South Carolina, the 18 points. How do you see this game playing out for the Gamecocks?
I think South Carolina wins. Whether they cover or not, I don't know. I'm just not in any I've backed South Carolina successfully a couple times this year, but it was in underdog roles, and I'm not looking to back them as a favorite, and I'm just not looking to back Vandy at all. So it's a hard pass for me.
Yeah. Any thoughts? I'm looking for it very quick. Over under's 50. I think. What's your thought? I mean, 50. I don't know. What's your thoughts on the over?
Maybe the under. If I had to pick anything, I'd probably go under 51.
Hey, Brian, real quick. The Washington football team defense is horrendous. I'm a Washington football team fan. Most disappointing unit in the NFL. Is there any reason that the Chiefs wouldn't come in and score 42 points? Why is this 6.5 spread?
Well, Kansas City is just really
awful on
man.
defense too.
They are just they're not covering numbers. They're 1-4 against the spread, and they're only 2-3 straight up, and yet they still are getting odds makers. Now your team is obviously struggling. I don't know what's wrong with that defense. I mean, I thought they had the best front four in the NFL last year, but I mean this year defense. I mean they've given up 43, 30, and 33 their last 3 games. But I would take the Washington football team if I had to pick it, especially buying that half point to 7 because KC is just still overvalued big time.
He is Brian Edwards, senior handicapper at Vegas Insider. Again, you can check him out on majorwager.com as well. Please follow him on Twitter, Vegas B Edwards. He will be a weekly guest here, 8:20 every Thursday. Does a fantastic job. And again, I like the one because I've always read, Brian, the games under the radar. You like the Western Kentucky Old Dominion over there. We'll write that one down for you as well. Buddy, I appreciate it. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day and have a fabulous weekend with some college ball.
Thanks for having me, guys. Y'all have a great weekend.
You too. Brian Edwards again, VegasInsider.com, senior handicapper, and MajorWager.com as well. You're listening to the early game. Coming up next, Jen's handed me a sheet. Total points.
We'll see if you can
figure out the break what I'm reading. Total points. Bill Gunner, 123.
Oops, gotta get a break.
Oh, we're going to break. We'll read it when we come back. Jen, does Kyle Larson drive a Chevy?
Gotta get a break.
Yes, we are in break. This is the break. It's the break. And I get to tell you about Love Chevrolet. I don't know if Kyle Larson or Danny Hamlin drive Chevys. If they don't, they should have been. But
you know what? They're good
drivers anyway. They overcame not driving a Chevrolet to win races recently. That's all that matters to me. Is winning what you matter to you since you're not racing. Is driving a quality V. Chevrolet provides that. They do it with an incredible sales staff. Get out to Love Chevrolet, I-26 in Harbison, between Lowe's and Frankie's Fun Park, and visit the incredible folks at Love Chevrolet. Having trust in your car dealership is important because a car purchase is extremely large in your life. You need to trust the vehicle that you're about to spend money on to be reliable, to get you from point A to point B, to get the kids to soccer practice, or cheer, or football, or baseball. You need something you can trust in that you believe will continue to maintain for 4 or 5 years. And Love Chevrolet, the sales folks, that's exactly what they're going to help you understand is why a car or truck fits your need. And whether it is a brand new Love Chevrolet vehicle or a certified pre-owned car or truck that they have on the lot, you can always guarantee the folks that Love Chevrolet are going to make sure you're taken care of. I-26 in Harbison between Lowe's and Frankie's Fun Park. You've heard me talk about the $1,000 low price guarantee. That's still there. They're going to be any price available. You've heard me talk about the selection of vehicles, 14 acres. You know they're going to have the largest selection. But again, I continue to harp on the incredible sales staff that is there and ready to help you at Love Chevrolet. I-26 in Harbison between Lowe's and Frankie's Fun Park, or on the web, lovechevy.com. Get out to Love Chevrolet and find new roads.
Yes, he does drive a Chevy, Bill. From the Shepherd's Glass Traffic Center, Shepherd's Glass, a true reflection of quality. ShepherdsGlass.com. Hampton Street at Hugie Street, downtown Columbia. We do have an accident there. Cleaning up I-26 eastbound at Harbison Boulevard. Also in the cleanup stages, I-20 eastbound at Highway 6. And the left lane currently blocked Reimer Pond Road at Wilson Boulevard. And looking for a mix of clouds and sun today, 86 for the high. It is 65 with some sun at 107.5 the game.
All right. How about the echo now? We should not have an echo now.
The game is sponsored by Love Chevrolet.
Hey y'all, it's Jay Phillips talking integrated media with Grayson Griner, the
And
former Carolina catcher.
I guess you're referring to,
Home is still Columbia.
I don't know what you're referring to. We don't do this on Saturdays, so no need to worry about.
I would have to say just everything being under one roof. They're all integrated where the name comes in. Smart TVs, sound systems with Sonos, surround sound and ceiling.
Yeah, we're not live streaming.
Yeah, we're in live stream.
Everything from your smartphone, from the wall with the touchpad, having everything all encompassing and making everything easy for us. And making sure our house is safe.
You know, if your mom needs to go and check out your house, you're on the road to like Oakland or somewhere, you can turn the TV on for whoever there.
You can unlock your house.
Yeah, if you got games that you want to get into each week, like I said,
he's probably got a ton. He's probably got a binder in front of him, right? I would assume.
Probably so. I mean, or maybe his computer. I don't know. Yeah.
So maybe he can't join the live stream because he's got to navigate through spreadsheets.
Yeah, he might not be able to. Yeah, he didn't exactly. Like, I sent somebody in, like, he said okay, but
nobody can memorize that many stats and then forget them every week.
True. But yeah, I mean, he'll be good. Like I said, you know, that's not one you need to check out on. You know, you can just you can fire away. Get him on Thursday. Keep one of the little guests in the 7 o'clock hour. And
Today's a good guest day too.
Wednesday will need to be another one. Then. Mondays and most Fridays we'll try and lay off. Monday, obviously, you should have reaction Monday, therapy Monday where everybody's weighing in. Tuesday, you've already got Perry and throw one other one in there, like a kind of a national guy to.
Well, Perry we get for half an hour anyway.
Half an hour, and then like we got Brad Crawford at 6:40, so we'll wrap up segment with him and talk national football. All right, improvement this morning, but still ways to go. But I feel good, feel better. More in touch with what I'm used to. I see how people like Dan Patrick and then have like 5 or so 11 targets. And I might just at some point, once I feel completely comfortable with this, just push you over the like I can get back and handle everything. Yeah. But like just tell you, okay, you got the text line, like just I don't care, read whatever. Like if there's a text I should read that's funny, tell me. But
when you get to love with Dan Patrick, his show's the easiest show ever to do.
Yeah, pretty much.
He's got 4 guys that were ready to chime in whenever, and he's got he basically does an opening monologue and then has guests for the rest of the not even a monologue. He just opens up and cuts up the donuts.
All right. We're getting there.
Rosana's MRI clinic isn't operating at max efficiency. She needs a new certified tech certifiably now.
First day back on Facebook. I'll be interested to see what the numbers are. Mark's on you. It's true though. Dan Patrick, Levitar, 5 guys, I think, and maybe a 6. The girl. I don't. They used to have Allison, but I don't think they have Allison anymore.
Like he's a legend, but what we do is actually harder than what he does at this point. Like he's got it.
Yeah.
He's got so many people working for him. He actually doesn't have to do as much as we do.
Yeah, he just goes. Yeah, literally. Yeah, he's got a book. What is it? What's Fritzy's the booker, and they don't even tell Fritzy who to book.
Yeah,
865 subscribers.
Like
Hope. I think my plan is to start doing also more. Even if I don't do them live, to do more shorter like evening segments just to grow the YouTube where we can hop on and I don't know if I'll ever do post game reactions like some people are in this market that do podcasts. I'm not about to start jumping on and doing that, but probably don't need me doing that after a game, especially not with the kids. No. Oh, that would a post game recap. Daggone. That was a long break, wasn't it? Tell him I apologize. I think we weren't out at a ridiculous time. I can't hear what she does.
I'll go in there and turn the thing on.
Well, I don't need to do it now.
But tomorrow.
Yeah. Goodness gracious. We're on like somewhere in the vicinity of about a 6-minute break. Because I thought I wanted to break at 8:40, but then we went like a minute or two long. We might be longer than that now. Quick halftime reactions. I wouldn't do one. Troy, the post game recap, it's not a lot of work. It's just you get emotionally invested.
Those are also better for probably like a quick hitter on Twitter.
Yeah.
A lot of those people just do a quick video and drop it on Twitter. It's going to get saved forever, archived forever on the YouTube page. You don't want to just completely clog it up with 2-minute. We're actually going to have no time for Gary.
I know, really. How long has this been? We're 7 or 8 minutes now. Okay, so what am I going to?
56:45.
You'll hit the bump at 55:40. All right, and then we'll officially end at 57.
56:45.
56:45 is what matches. Okay, all right, let's go. All right, well, the football, South Carolina, Tennessee didn't go as we wanted last weekend. But you know what did go the way some of us wanted last weekend? Was the road course at Charlotte, the Charlotte Roval 400. I had a great time watching it. Carrie Tharp, our beloved guest, you were there. I saw the Twitter video. How was it up there? I appreciate you getting that. It didn't sound like that was what you wanted to say, but thank you for getting it out. And we go to Texas this week, and we're in the final stages. This is coming. It's crunch time here. How do you see this? We'll get to Texas in just a second, but how do you see it shaping up over the next few weeks?
championship this year, but there's some others in that 8 people that 8 driver field that's pretty tough too. I mean, you look at Chase Elliott, defending champion, certainly Kyle Busch, and so Keselowski and Logano and Blaney. So they're all very, very talented and very capable. But I'd say right now, and Denny Hamlin, you got to throw him in there too because he's won 2 races in the playoffs. But I'd say right now that you really got to look at Kyle Larson as being the guy to beat.
Isn't that the truth? Holy cow.
Let's make some picks. Kara, I think it's only fair. Jen is dead last, 92 points. Dead last.
She's even behind Reggie, isn't she?
Yep.
Both are behind Reggie. You're both behind Reggie.
Yeah.
Hope you're happy. You're both
Embarrassing.
So, but Jen is at
92 points. Carrie is at 94. Reggie Anderson is having a career season with 95 points, and I'm at 123 for those of you interested. Jen, you get first pick. You get first. Who do you want now? Last week you took my pick, so I took Kyle Larson, and I was the big winner. Who do you want this week?
It's like it just doesn't matter. It has gotten to be so terrible on the picks. Let's just for giggles. I'll say Hamlin, which means he'll, spin out and finish dead last.
Okay, good pick. Jen has not scored more than 2 points on the sheet that I'm looking at, Carrie.
And you've heard the analogy for your winning all the time. It's that whole the what is it? The blind squirrel can find an acorn or something.
Yeah, Jen is not doing well. Carrie, who you got this? Who you going with this weekend?
Well, I'll tell you, I think that's a good pick by Jim because you look back and Hamlin's won both of the leadoff races in the playoffs so far. But I'm going to go with Kyle Busch. I'm going to go with Rowdy win Sunday at Texas.
Good pick. Good pick. Give me my guy. Denny Hamlin.
That's what I just picked.
Oh, sorry. I'm looking at Hamlin. That's fine. Yep. All right. I'll give my pick off air here. We got to go. We're out of time. Carrie, we'll catch up with you next week. Appreciate it, buddy, and take care.
Thank you now.
All right, bye-bye. Take care, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.
I have no idea. What just happened. I'm sorry.
That's all right. That's why I tried to bail us as quick as possible instead of hanging around to be a self-ego.
All right, live stream.
Get Jen's mic muted before she goes on it. Yep. All right. That was, and then we got there. The Facebook got better today. Every day is a step in the right direction. We'll see you tomorrow. Yeah, Hope. Anthony, good to see you. Hope. Did Facebook go out? Because a lot of y'all are. You can go back on Facebook now. Later. Y'all have a good day.